Yo, what's up, everybody? Getting the stream all situated. Thanks as always for coming in, doing an early poll votes. We got a very interesting topic. I actually did not know what I wanted to make the next show about, and sure enough, I found it. So, what's up, man? What's up, Fresh Prez 402, Combat Sports 90, Fresh BX, my guy, a man who's been around for a very long time. Always keeping it real and always coming from my throat when I ain't coming correct. Truth is everything. What's up, man? Goku Black the one. Welcome back. The world is yours. Javante Davis. The one and only. Yeah, give me about like one more minute while everyone's kind of getting situated coming in. I see all you guys are coming in. Just let me know where you guys are coming from. What state, city, country. We're going to unpack real quick. And I want your guys' thoughts on if you like this move or not. So, oh man, what up, Marbear, Fresh 313, Auto, Modern King, Ramses, Gaming Creator 00. All right, I think I got a lot of you guys are already jumping in. All right, we don't need to wait too long. All right, we're gonna jump right into it. No need for long introductions. What's up, everybody? It's Ron Goodall over here at FightHype. Like I said, I'm doing these lives pretty often, right? I did one earlier today, which not the sexiest thing to talk about, right? Is Jake Paul, the face of boxing, but I went and did that show to kind of really try to debunk the whole 65 million Netflix and how you can't compare it with pay-per-views and modern times and even 65 million views is not the biggest anyways, of largest showing. So anyways, enough of that. Let's get right into it, right? Teofimo Lopez, Team Canelo. We've seen pictures of Teo with Canelo. We've seen Eddie Reynoso around, but it's been officially confirmed that Teofimo Lopez has added Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's trainer, to be joining the team alongside with his father, all right? So this is not a replacement. This is an addition, an add-on. So, if you guys have not seen the picture that was posted up on social media, I'll get right to that. But and I'll get to you guys' comments, right? I already see a lot of great comments already, so it's good, right? You guys are cooking, right? I see some really funny ones, right? The first one that already caught my eye: finna pop dirty real soon. Oh boy. So let me just go to the official tweet that kind of spawned all of this, right? Not one, but two Trainer of the Year Eddie Futch award winners in my corner. And right here you see his dad when they beat Vasily Lomachenko, and obviously Eddie Reynoso right here. So at this moment in time, oh, awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, babe. Yeah, she just hooked me up with some matcha. So as you can see right here, this is the new squad, all right? Granted, a lot of people have been criticizing Teofimo Lopez Sr. for certain instructional things. Teofimo Lopez himself has not looked amazingly spectacular in some of his performances. So they decided to add Eddie Reynoso in there, right? So let me read some of your guys' comments so I need your thoughts on this right away. Still scared of Javante. Let me pop this up right here. Fresh BX says, they ain't going to talk about when Senior violated Canelo and Teo Jr. just sat there. No, they need them for help. I remember. They don't. Now they remember. Now they have. Fresh, help me out. What did Senior specifically do? Because he does a lot of stuff, right? So bear with me. What did Senior do that's kind of, I guess, makes him look hypocritical in this situation? Truth for Everything says, finally he makes a great choice. Great for him. This guy's going to be unstoppable now. Wow. He beat Loma in his prime. Only one to do that. Also, don't forget that bozos. Yeah, I mean, there's no controversial when Teo's win against Loma and compared to Devin to Loma, right? Devin to Loma has kind of been the very controversial fight where many people thought Loma won. No one really debated in Teo's case. I know Loma claimed he had an injury, but at the end of the day, Teo definitely won that fight with no controversy. Goku Black says, top dog Teo, let's go. He ain't nothing for me. I would love to see Canelo in the ring fighting. That never gonna happen. Teo knows he's getting knocked out by GTD. Now, Gervonta and Crawford would never fight Teofimo Lopez. Lopez Zio is a good boxer, but a bigger clown. Yeah. Teo has been saying some crazy stuff, so doesn't matter. He ain't beating Tank. Davis will kill him regardless. Nah, big mistake. Teo ain't good as. Doesn't really matter. GDDD says the problem with him is in his head. It's a mental thing with their side. Okay. You guys are raising a lot of good points, right? Because at the end of the day, adding extra stuff doesn't really change essentially the fighter's essence. But I do feel, it's my personal opinion, is that, you know, I'm not 100% sure what Teo does in training camp, but whatever they do, I can safely assume that it's not working, right? I know Eddie Reynoso and Canelo, they run like a very serious camp, and ironically, it was a camp that Ryan Garcia also was in at one point. So if Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia happens to go face each other later down the line, which has been talked about by Ryan Garcia's dad, well, you got a former trainer of Ryan's corner who may know a lot of his weaknesses or shortcomings, right? Doesn't necessarily mean they know all the advancements and changes he's went through, but that's going to be really interesting if Teo does fight Ryan. That's a reminder. Combat Sports is New Orleans, UK, New Jersey. That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, yeah, I did do a roll call shout out. Teofimo still will get his head knocked off by Tank, and that's coming from a Mexican fan base. I think Tank is still going to be the overall, guy to essentially be favorite to beat a lot of these guys. I don't think there's anyone that's technically by the bookies ahead of Tank, right? I think the closest person might be maybe Shakur, but as a reminder, Teo is at 140, so Tank would probably have to go to 140 or bring Teo down, probably through a rehydration. Teo smokes Tank. Damn, he joined the juice. Wow. Evening, Ron, respect. What up, Modern King? Appreciate it. What up, big homie? Artapia, you are a sellout. More juice. Yeah, I mean, I already see a lot of you guys already kind of put in a lot of the drug failure situation, right? The Oscar Valdez, the Canelo, and I think they had another fighter. 3 fighters out of camp failed drug testing, so obviously it warrants that emoji. Gervonta and Crawford are my favorite fighters, but they get whooped by Teofimo Lopez. Really? That's a hot take right there, man. Because I definitely got Crawford beating Teo, and I definitely got Gervonta. More competitive fight, but I got Gervonta beating Teo. But, that's a more competitive fight. I think Terrence shouldn't be in the realms with Teo, personally. Gary Rodriguez, he isn't even Mexican. He's from Honduras. That's a good picture. Kind of also going through some extra stuff, right? Just kind of as a reminder. They've been seen working together in the past, right? The Canelo camps, a lot of them are cheaters. Yeah, I see a lot of you guys are definitely double, triple downing on that. The Canelo camp has a lot of cheaters. Let's see who Lopez fights next, right? I mean, I know he's going through his top rank situation that he's attempting to sue and get out, but I think he's probably still going to end up fighting on top rank. I think he has one more fight left, if I'm not mistaken. So, and yeah, you can see there's Canelo, Eddie Reynoso, and Teofimo Lopez. It's true, a lot of them pop dirty, for sure. I can't even remember who was the other guy that failed out of Eddie Reynoso's camp? Was it Martinez? Boxer. All right. Roman Chocolatito. I know he faced Roman Chocolatito. Oh, yeah. Julio Cesar Martinez. Failed drug test. Man, we're on a failed drug test run. Former flyweight champion Julio Cesar Martinez was suspended for 9 months after he tested for 3 banned substances. Golly! I didn't remember 3. Right? That was an Eddie Reynoso fighter. Right. Yeah. Highly lauded trainer Eddie Reynoso's camp have tested positive. Yeah, come on, Teo. Don't be out here. You got Canelo that failed. You got Oscar Valdez. See. Oscar Valdez trainer Eddie Reynoso distanced himself. Yeah. Oscar Valdez trainer Eddie Reynoso distancing himself from doping talk, says not responsible for nutrition. Yeah, so boy, oh boy. Anyways, let me get back to the footage in the back. Canelo himself has said no one beats Tank in that division. Yeah, Canelo definitely has. It's definitely possible that he popped dirty. Did Teo litigation finish with Top Rank? No, I haven't heard anything about it, to be honest. He went live recently on Instagram saying that, you know, have some announcement coming soon. So I know that Bob Arum himself, the biggest thing that Bob Arum hates personally is not you go out there and you test the market as a free agent. He's pretty much like you're supposed to, right? If we do a 3-fight contract, you do 3 fights and you want to go test the market, be my guest. I have no problem. Bob Arum's gripe is if you have a contract and you don't actually fulfill it, that bugs him. So right now, from my understanding, Teo has not fulfilled the Top Rank contract obligation, so I don't know what's going on. I just know that whatever it is, Bob is probably not playing around, and he wants him to finish that shit. So Teo 140, Tank 135, not the same division. Absolutely not. But he has been calling for Terrence and Gervonta. So those are the 2 guys. I don't think he's going to get the fight anytime soon. Aldo, I bet you the fight Lopez couldn't even avoid Crawford 9 rounds. Tank's afraid of Teo. Don't get it twisted. Think so? What up, my boy Corey Lee? What's up, bro? Teofimo, this is a good move. Let me look at the poll real quick, right? I see more people actually is happy about this move, right? 33% pretty much say, it doesn't really matter, right? It's Teo. You can add all the great trainers that you want. He's still going to kind of be himself. But 66% of you guys actually say Eddie Reynoso is a good addition. And me personally, like I think Eddie Reynoso is a good addition. I didn't really get my take on it, but I think it is. I think it's a great move. I think adding Eddie Reynoso will bring structure. You know, there's been a lot of chaos at times between Teo and his dad. We've seen it publicly. We've seen the inconsistency. We've seen the dynamics. So having another person who's been to the mountaintop, trained guys like Canelo Alvarez, right? He's going to be able to add some of his veteran tactics, bring some structure, and maybe even some order and some respect. I don't know really the dynamics between him and his dad, if there's a lack of respect or not. But regardless, you can't go wrong. And you already know Canelo's going to take his time to come in and support. Just like how Crawford goes on, supports Shakur and Keyshawn Davis and Troy Isley and everyone around there. You know you're going to get not just Eddie Reynoso, but you're going to get Canelo to come in and also add some insight. So Teo only fights Friday nights. Tank on a whole different level. Well, if we're talking about popularity, then yes, obviously Tank is on a completely different level when it comes to getting the marquee fights. Teo ain't as good as people make him out to be. Facts. Yeah, I mean, we'll find out, right? He's definitely a guy that seems like he rises to the occasion. You know, that's what people have. You can't take away his 2 definitive wins. Vasily Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, both lineal champions, right? So even though I didn't feel like Josh Taylor was himself, I'm not going to discredit. I'm going to give him the valid win, and he deserves it. So his last performance against Jermaine Taylor was very questionable, and Steve Claggett did not make him look like the knockout artist that, you know, we once essentially saw on TV. So Teo's in a position where he's definitely rebuilding. He's trying to be the darling that a lot of people originally first fell in love with, and now they're kind of tired of him. So this is a great move, personally. I think it's a great idea. Do I think it's going to change dramatically? No. I think he's still going to have his shortcomings and his strengths, but Eddie Reynoso is going to definitely be a great asset. A change of trade will not change a thing. The problem's in his head. It's the mental thing with their side. Yeah, see, so I think he's going to help with certain things fundamentally. I think that Teo has a lot of great athleticism. Need a little bit of some fine-tuning and technical things. We'll only be able to see what Eddie Reynoso can actually change in Teo in his first fight. So we'll see. All right. Teo's athleticism is great, so we definitely need to see technically what can be added. Teo only looks good against top competition, and Tank is that. All right. Teo gets no love over here. $2 super chat. What's up, my guy? Daniel Navarrete, man. Teo's using Canelo for promo / fame. Teo playing chess. I mean, look, we're making a topic on it, right? First thing right away is that right when Teo announces with Eddie Reynoso, we got a live going on. So it is helping with publicity. I'm not going to lie. Everyone will be talking about this throughout the week. Crawford is elite, but he's already too old. Keep in mind, Crawford went 12 rounds with one-legged Benavidez, went all 12 with Ray Beltran. Well, I mean, that doesn't tell the true story, Aldo. You could say the same thing that Teo got beat by Kambosos. Teo went 12 with Steve Claggart. Teo went 12 with a Jermaine Ortiz. You know, Teo went 12 with Nakatani. What else can we do? Like, Teo, you can't do that. And granted, Ray Beltran was a former champion. One-legged Benavidez, say what you want. Jamal Charlo went 12 with him, right? Danny Garcia went 12 with him. Styles make fights, and Crawford got him out. So, I mean, when you really think about it, I don't really want to get into the whole Crawford-Teo thing because really it's a matter of opinion, but Terrence has went all the way up to 154, right? Like, we are unsure if Teo can even make it through the 140 division and clear it out and dominate it, let alone do anything at 147. So, yeah, I'm just going to let Teo work through his journey. Teo is good. Let's see. Teo is good. He thinks he's too good because Loma and Taylor, but when he's fighting weaker fighter or with losses, he doesn't take it seriously and gets embarrassed. So you're pretty much saying that he rises to the competition and then stoops down to the competition, right? I mean, I think he has his natural shortcomings as a fighter too. Even when he went and beat Lomachenko, right? The fight was still close, not controversial. Thought it was a very clear 7-5. But there was 5 rounds where even one of the rounds, I think the 10th round, Lomachenko was beating the shit out of Teo. So, it doesn't matter who's in Teo's corner. He's a special fighter regardless. I see. Yeah, his God-gifted athleticism is never going to go away. I think just stuff that we need to fine-tune with Teo is his ability to kind of work on his technical flaws, right? His athleticism is never, for sure not going to go away. But, yeah, a lot of people on Twitter have definitely been reacting to it. This is another angle. What Teo and Canelo working with each other. Tank shouldn't give Teo that payday. A lot of people don't feel that way. I mean, a lot of people feel that way just because of the fact of a lot of his comments, right? The disrespect, kind of the monkey jokes, doesn't really fly. No fly zone. DJ. He fights Ryan for his first fight back, calls out Tank, but gets KO'd at catchweight. That's a tough fight still. Going to Ryan Garcia. I mean, it's a tough fight for both. Modern King, what's up? Well, okay. What's up? You doing okay? Richard Comey stopped Ray Beltran, and Teo stopped Comey in 2 rounds. Yeah. Look, boxing math doesn't always work that way, right? It doesn't. Because, how would you say this? Loma stopped Kambosos. Teo beat Lomachenko. And Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. How do you defend that, Aldo? Right? You know? Really, at the end of the day, I don't really like doing boxing math because it depends on people's situations, the part of their career, their life, and styles. Doesn't really matter. As in right now, I think, the Crawford of back then is not the Crawford now, and the Teo of certain fights ain't the Teo of certain times, right? Teo's chasing everybody but the champs in his division. Running from Devin, Al Rayo already put hands on him. They do have a sparring situation, right? Al Rayo pretty much said he dropped Teo. He's been putting hands on him, So, Teo's definitely looking for big money fights. But I agree. There's people in the division that he should be looking for. I think Devin and Teo is very long overdue. And, Rayo Venezuela should be an opponent they should be eyeing as well. Devin's probably more realistic to make, So yeah, no, I don't know about the whole litigation thing. I spoke a little bit about that earlier. I think Teo is still working that out. I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I know Bob Arum does not like people breaching contracts or wanting to get out early. So we'll find out probably early next year. They all scared to fight Teo. Teo's a banana thinking a black man will give him a payday. Yeah, I don't see Terrence giving him a payday. And depending how Tank feels, I don't see it either. So he might be having a fight. His mandatory coming up because he had 2 voluntaries. Right? Steve Claggett and Jermaine Ortiz. So who is the highest ranked up? Boxing rankings, right? Let's see who is the highest ranked in the WBO at 140. Because I know Ramirez just lost to Barboza, but Barboza openly admitted that he did not pay his sanctioning fees. Very odd. WBO. Arnold Barboza, Jack Catterall. Richardson Hitchin will be fighting Liam Paro, so it might be Jack Catterall if Barboza is not technically the mandatory. So Jack Catterall might be fighting Teofimo Lopez. So what do you guys think about that? Jack Catterall, after dropping Regis Prograis after being dropped, can Jack Catterall actually beat Teofimo Lopez? Many people thought he beat Josh Taylor before Teofimo Lopez did, and should be technically the undisputed in many people's eyes. So what do you guys think? Let me know. While also I'm reading the comments, I do have a clip where Teo spoke about what he has learned previously in the Eddie Reynoso camps. Canelo, Teofimo Lopez. Let me see. Yeah, so
we all have camps, we all have structure here and there, but the way that he manages it and the way that he coordinates his time, I think that is very, very excessive to the point where that's the only way you continue and succeed to be in the top. It's not about just knowing the points, where to punch and all those things. It's mainly about how you are in camp with your team. The unit that they have is very solid, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing moving forward.
Are you working with Eddie Reynoso going forward?
Well, my father and Reynoso are talking together, and I think that's the best part. I don't move without my father, and my father has definitely, he pushed this move for me to go to Canelo's camp. My dad was there, and it's been great, so we'll see what happens.
there you go. A little hindsight information now. They're together. But it seems like Senior is the orchestrator of the situation, and he pretty much kind of said, as most fathers who kind of train their son from the amateurs up really have a harder time of kind of bringing in additional help. Granted, it's Eddie Reynoso, right? Way more established in a situation that many people feel that way. But they're both Eddie Futch winners. So they're both been training over the years at WBAA. They both done great things in the sport. So he brought in Eddie Reynoso and pretty much as a father saying that, hey, I need extra help. And this is probably a great move, not just for Teo Jr., but Senior as a father trying to become a better trainer, taking a little step back. So personally, I actually applaud that move from Senior to kind of actually look and try to get additional help versus being very secluded and not wanting to get extra people to go help on his sons and think like you know everything. So I commend that, and you heard a little bit what I was mentioning earlier. The stuff that Teofimo was mentioning is that he recognized the structure in the camp. So pretty much liked what was going on. Kind of maybe there's some dysfunctions of just kind of figuring out their own camp. And Eddie Reynoso and Canelo and them are going to be able to bring something that's probably been missing for a very long time, and that's from Teo himself. So you heard it right there. Just a little flashback. That was around Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga fight week. Just kind of dating when that happened. So, yeah, Teo was a killer at 135. Yeah, that was Teo's best weight so far we've seen. Mano says doesn't matter. Might work, might not. Like a Rita Neary had Reynoso did not work, made him worse, took the killer instinct away. So did Andy Ruiz, same problem. You know, you're right. Andy Ruiz did go to Eddie Reynoso and didn't really look the same. And Louis Neary has been kind of getting his ass kicked for a while. Granted, he fought Inoue, you know. I think he changed. He wasn't with Eddie Reynoso at that time. But, yeah, just because you add someone in. But remember, he's not replacing his father. He's adding Eddie Reynoso. So it's not like a complete swap. It's an extra addition to it. So Tio versus Taylor was the greatest fight I've ever seen. I can't tell if you're trolling. It was a great performance on Tio. I'll give you that. You say Camboso's name 3 times. Tio gets missing from all interviews and socials. I mean, look, Camboso's, I don't know if you guys know, he just announced that he signed with Matchroom and he moved to 140. Right? So that fight's always possible for Tio to get a rematch, right? And Cambosos has an opportunity to go and attempt to fight for another world championship. So it's already bananas to take Tio serious. He's been monkeying around. Jeez, you guys are funny. Let me speed up through the chat. HOD, what's up, man? I'm really liking this move. Now it's all about finding the perfect synergy to bring together and work towards one goal. Yeah, I like the move. I'm not hating on it. I think it's actually very instrumental. Cause if Tio and his dad ain't getting their shit together, Eddie Reynoso is definitely gonna put the band hammer and be like, look, you guys gotta get your shit together. Gervonta versus Tio would be an awesome fight, without a doubt. A-Raw, why is nobody talking about Crawford ducking Tio? I mean, you think Crawford's ducking Tio? That's like saying, look, these guys are like 2 weight classes above. That's like me saying Canelo's ducking Crawford. Like, these guys aren't ducking, right? They're looking at what is their best options, right? Canelo has more options than Crawford, and Crawford has more options than Tio. So, the end of the day is a pecking order, right? So, I think it's insane to say that. Nice try, buddy. Very smart choice for Tio. I think it's a good fight because Tio has a lot of is more athletic than Eddie has ever had. So the sky's the limit. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what Eddie is able to add to a guy who's God-gifted athletic. Like, Tio is God-giftedly athletic. The shit that he does bails him out more than you can imagine, right? I've seen Tio at fights where, you know, granted, he's not doing things intelligently, like smart, wise, and moves, but you know, really at the end of the day, his athleticism is what saved him, you know? Because Crawford isn't able to help Tio. Tio's got to fight Keyshawn Davis. Anthony Bryant says that's a great fight, you know? But we got to see, you know, as much as I would love to fight, you know, Keyshawn has to also go up the pecking order, get a world championship title, go through that process. Because, you know, as much as I would love to see the fight, and I know they have history and sparring sessions, has been leaked out about a lot of the stuff. You know, you got to make sure it makes sense. Keyshawn, go get a title, do that. You know, there is steps, and I'm not saying that Keyshawn can't beat Tio, but you don't want to just rush into stuff, right? And that's definitely rushing. You know, Tio has experience in the professional game. He's fought top opposition in his weight classes. So, you know, you can't take that for granted. You can't just make the assumption that this guy, even though he may look this or that in certain parts of his fights, that he still doesn't have championship level pedigree behind him. And you want to make sure that you want to properly prepare yourself. And I know Keyshawn has a great team with Bo Mack and Red and Esau, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. Goku Black says Skibbity. Always. I enjoy Lopez, but his antics are not of a champion with the character that's only gripe with him. Yeah, that's pretty much what turned a lot of people off with Tio. You know, and that's kind of what he's been trying to do to try to get him these big fights. So it doesn't really look like it's helping him out. It took Gervonta 11 rounds to stop interim champion Barros with a rehydration clause. Josh Taylor had all 4 real belts at 140. Hey, look, at the end of the day, people can also argue that Jack Catterall beat Josh Taylor before Tio did, right? That he was injury prone. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Josh Taylor, after, with Tio, hasn't really looked like the same fighter. You know, taking away the perspective of this fighter did this and that fighter did this. It's just apples and oranges, right? That's why we still want to see Tank versus Teo. That's why we still want to see Devin fight Teo. That's why we want to see Ryan versus Teo. Yeah, I know that you want to see Crawford versus Teo, but Crawford already fought his contemporary, which is Spence, and he went and fought Porter, and he went up another division. Like, let Teo fight his guys. Like let him fight a Devin. Let him fight, some of these other guys that are around his weight class, Because what's going to happen if Teo goes up and loses to Crawford? Or is that good for his career? Put him in fights that is more reasonable that he's going to win. I know that you believe that Crawford will lose to him, but I don't know, man. I feel like you're in the minority in that opinion. Top Rank and Teo are not in court and litigation. They are in legal talks. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on. I know Bob doesn't like contract breaches, but I think that he's going to end up fighting sometime early next year. As a black man, I wouldn't let Teo eat off me. I think that's what Crawford and Tank's mindset is probably right now. But Tank has said that he's got to see Teo, and if anyone's going to fight Teo between the two, I think it's going to be Tank. Crawford's definitely at a point of his career that he's probably going to retire. So Teo is not must-see TV. I think this is a great move, but won't last due to his father still being in the picture and having a big ego. We'll find out. His dad's the one that pretty much wanted to bring Eddie Reynoso in, so it'd be pretty funny to see that the father that brings Eddie Reynoso in, but also at the same time destroys the relationship of trying to build anything with Eddie and his son. So that would be some crazy egotistic stuff right there. Crawford and Tank would never lose to Kambosos. Teo is not even must see. He's in the Hulu theater. Damn, major shade from cuts, but he definitely fights in the smaller Hulu theater. All this not letting someone eat over who's the better champion that night is duck talk. Yeah, some people might say it's duck talk, right? At the end of the day, Teo's philosophy is if you want to jump up 2 weight class to fight Canelo, why can I not ask to jump up 2 weight classes to fight you, right? Pretty much he's trying to point out the hypocrisy in that sense. So they was running from Teo. I mean, were they running from Teo? Who was running from Teo? I think all of it came down to politics, really. When Teo fights Devin, I'll respect him. Yeah, I mean, personally, I think that's a good fight. Devin and Teo has always been a great fight. And even right now, after Devin having his situation with Ryan, I think, regardless of whatever happened with Teo and Kambosos, I think these guys would have a very exciting fight. You earn what you keep, Modern says. Aldo says, 20-plus boxing experts and pros picked Josh Taylor to whoop Teo, and Teo made it look easy. Aldo, I picked Teo to beat Josh Taylor. So. But I know what you're saying. Teo, that's why I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm not discrediting Teo. And that's the thing that I'm trying to say. Regardless of whatever people say, he beat Lomachenko at a time where, granted, he was on this tear, a crazy winning streak, and he beat him without controversy. Like Devin has controversy with Loma. Then he goes in weight class, regardless of whatever the case is with Jack Catterall. Josh Taylor was undefeated, right? He was a lineal champion, and Teo went in there and fought him and made it look easy. And he was the lineal champion 2 divisions, pretty much beating the man that was the man in that division at the time. So I'm not discrediting, and I definitely picked, when Loma fought Teo, I picked Loma because of all the mental state stuff that was going on that was publicly out that Teo was kind of talking about. And it wasn't a controversial loss. It was straight Teo won, but I definitely picked Teo to beat Josh Taylor. So, and granted, at any point, Lomachenko is Lomachenko. He's always going to be a good fighter and a great win to have on your resume. So, no, Teo's resume is solid. I don't think it's anything about discrediting his 2 great wins, but it's his instability that is everyone's concerns. You go from beating Lomachenko to losing Kambosos to beating Josh Taylor and looking somewhat subpar against Jermaine Ortiz and Steve Claggart. So really, at the end of the day. The inconsistency is there, and that you don't know what version of Teo is you're gonna get. It's very inconsistent. It's not duck talk. Teo talks too much racial BS. Yeah, I mean, they don't, you don't really want to piss off these guys. I mean, what's so ironic is the guy that he's in the ring with, Canelo, also falls in that same protocol. He's like, Benavidez and his dad are too disrespectful. Why would I want to give him an opportunity when I got this nice guy like Munguia I can give an opportunity to, or Edgar Berlanga, who's shown a lot more respect than they have. So, Canelo is the same type of person who also falls into that kind of respect ordeal. So, Fluck, dude. Steve Clagger busting him up. Steve Clagger was in there having great work. He was doing a great job. Teo's whack. Raw is at AD, right? No, I mean, I think these guys are putting solid points, and I see both sides. I have my personal opinion about the whole situation. So, and you guys already heard it. Teo just follows the script that most of these young guys do. Talk, 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 no competitive fights. Look, and this is not me to kind of bash Teo in this situation, but this is just, I don't know how true this is, right? But rumors was that I've heard that Gustavo Lemos, who had a very close, controversial fight with Richardson Hitchens for the IBF mandatory at 140, the weight class that Teo's in, right after that performance, Top Rank signed Gustavo Lemos. He was a 140 pounder. Who else is a 140 pounder? Teo. I heard that he was potentially presented as an opponent for Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez opted out Gustavo Lemos and chose to fight other opponents, which happened to be, I don't know if this was Steve Clagger time or Jermaine Ortiz, one of the two. And then at that time brought Keyshawn Davis to come in and say, well, I want to fight the guy that Richardson Hitchens fought. I want him. So then Keyshawn took the opponent opposed to Teo. So I don't know if what you guys want to do with that. But Teo is also kind of wanting to pick his career a certain type of ways too. So these fighters all kind of have their kind of inconsistency, if it makes sense, like somewhat of a hypocrisy to a certain degree. But, what I mean by that is like when you're in your career position, you look at what's best for you. And that's what all these guys are doing. Canelo would train Teo to fight Crawford, but Canelo won't fight Crawford. I mean, ironically, like I said, these guys are all pretty similar. Crawford put Madrimov as an opponent, or Teo, if you beat Madrimov, I'll fight you. And I think to kind of entertain the Crawford talk, Canelo, somewhere during fight week, kind of said, yeah, fight Teo, and then maybe I might entertain Crawford, right? So, kind of done the same thing. I saw a Netflix fight. It was WrestleMania. Yeah, it was pretty bad, Mr. Quake. Smoke says, I think Senior's the reason for Teo's little downfall. I think Senior ability as a trainer ended at the Loma fight. Well, like I said earlier, Senior is the one that brought Eddie Reynoso in to kind of be an extra trainer. So if that's the case, then Senior's recognizing some of his shortcomings. So if that's true, then shout out to Senior for kind of bringing in extra help when he realized he needs to. Lost to Ortiz. A lot of people thought Teo lost to Ortiz that night. Nice footwork. Boxing is boxing. First respect is earned from a fan point of view. Right? Yeah, so like I said, I played this earlier. I'll play it one more time for you guys.
The best thing I picked up from Canelo overall was the amount of structure he has in camp. We all have camps, we all have structure here and there, but the way that he manages it and the way that he coordinates his time, I think that is very, very excessive to the point where that's the only way you continue and succeed to be in the top. It's not about just knowing the points where to punch and all those things. It's mainly about how you are in camp with your team. The unit that they have is very solid, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing moving forward.
Are you working with Eddie Reynoso going forward?
Well, my father and Reynoso are talking together, and I think that's the best part. I don't move without my father, and my father has definitely, he pushed this move for me to go to Canelo's camp. My dad was there, and it's been great, so we'll see what happens.
There we go. I was muted. For some of you that came in late, just wanted to share that, piece of nugget right there. Let me speed through the chat because there's a lot of stuff. A lot of you guys. I want to make sure you guys are all heard and voiced out quickly. Cambosa's got knocked down by Teo and was running from his life, and Teo was the champ and he was robbed. I wouldn't say robbed. I think the right person won, but it was looking bad for Kambosos at the end. I do agree. Boxing has no foundation. I don't take Teo serious as a fighter no more. African boxers are jabbers, I think. This could be a strategic move. Teo gets to fight Bud. Canelo will then decide if he wants to fight him next, right? Trying to do a little chess move a little bit. But once again, I don't see Crawford fighting Teo. I don't see Crawford even entertaining the idea of fighting Teo to Canelo, right? I think Crawford is like, I don't need to fight anybody, to get to Canelo, especially a Teofimo Lopez, right? Teo doesn't provide thrills. Teo's okay. Teo's the greatest fighter of all time. The only people that say adding Canelo Alvarez the top. Jake Paul is one smart guy. Teo's really mid. Iman, this dude is biased. You mentioned me. I'm biased. If so, how am I biased? Did you ask Oscar Vados about Teofimo training with Eddie? I didn't, because I didn't know if that was official. I didn't know if it was 100% that Teo was actually going to be bringing it. And the thing is, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Is it Eddie going into Teo's camp, or is it Teo going into Canelo's and Eddie's camp, right? Like, where are they going to be training at? Are they going to be training where Canelo trains? So, but no, I didn't ask Oscar Valdez that. I'll go on a limb and say he can't even clear at 140. I mean, he's in 140. He should fight 140, right? Social media is taking over boxing. Watch out for the snow. Bad technique, terrible footwork, head movement. Anthony Bryant says. He gave me thrills watching Kambosos put paws and feet on him. The fight was just as good as Crawford whooping Spence. What's up? Teo could fight another champ at 140. Yeah, I don't see why not. I really think Teo and Devin should be, or Teo and Ryan, right? I mean, I don't think Ryan Venezuela fight's going to happen, but that should be good. The only people that say adding Eddie Reynoso don't matter are black Americans from the jealousy and hate. I try not to bring race, right? I think at the end of the day, I think it's a good move regardless. So, just an opinion. Ryan beats Teo. It's a good fight. Don't get me wrong, Teo's best, but he's no Ali. I knew it. Teofimo's better boxing than Canelo big time. George Kambosos. Teo's not a better than Canelo. You need to be drug tested. Eddie has a good stable, but none are fast twitch, athletically gifted like him, and he proved significantly, I believe. Yeah, that's the thing about Teo. If Teo was equally as fundamental skill-wise as his God-gifted athleticism, and I'm not saying to discredit Teo's technique. I mean, you can see, there's a lot of finesse to his game, but there is fundamental things that he does that create things that make things a lot more difficult for him, and his athleticism helps him for sure. So if his athleticism matches his technique, then Teo's about to be a fucking problem. And you always feel that way, that Teo can do things like that. Just he doesn't all the time. Fight Pitbull, Cruz, Teo. I don't know how long Pitbull's gonna stay at 140. Teo Bailey has 20 fights. Better resume than Crawford, Javante, Haney, and he had at 20 fights. Yeah, I mean, look, no one's gonna discredit Teo's 2 great wins, Aldo. Like I keep telling you, it's pretty much at the end of the day, it's this lack of consistency, right? You can't just be a guy that shows up here and there and then disappear on another night. So he won't, because he will put more pressure than Claggart did. Tank fans are scared of Teo with Canelo team. Sweat emoji. Teo is not on the juice, and he has 2-time lineal. Yeah, he's a 2-time lineal champion. You can't take that away from Teo. Teo has definitely proven himself to be clearly a guy that when he needs to excel, it's there, It's just his inconsistency is the problem, You hear it all the time with his dad. His dad says it all the time, like, oh, man, I should have had him do this, but, I had him do that, but, now I fucked it up here, and, it's inconsistent, but Teo has God-gifted athleticism, and he's been an amateur standout for a very long time, and you can see he jumped very early to fight tough opposition, and you've seen him prevail. So Teo has fights right at 140 to fight. He's hungry, and he better go eat. Teo's mandatory is due in 18 months as a WBO super champion. Yeah, you know, it's gonna have to happen pretty soon. Canelo was 30-0 when he fought Mayweather. Teo was 15. No, Canelo was more than 30-0, brother. Teo was 15-0 when he beat number 1 pound for pound Lomachenko. Man, you are just campaigning hard for Teo, Aldo. I'll make sure that if I ever see Teo, I'm gonna make sure A-Raw and Aldo gets a shout out in my next interview. Be honest, look at the list. Teo just needs to fight at 140 and clear that division. Yeah, I mean, look, Teo. What's the funny thing is Teo started at the same weight class as Crawford, right? You know, he can go on 147. He can fight a Brian Norman Jr., right? Personally, I think Brian Norman Jr. would be a great fight for Teofimo Lopez. They're both on the same promotional company, right? They both have the WBO. So in-house, top rank. They can make good money. You could put that somewhere where you can promote it. I mean, I think Brian Norman Jr. and Teofimo Lopez is the fight for me. You go through and you wash a Brian Norman Jr., then I'll be more convinced for a Crawford fight, me personally. Because there's been training sessions with Brian Norman Jr., with Tank, and Brian Norman Jr. with Crawford. So Brian Norman Jr. could be kind of the test to see if Teo is ready to go and fight a guy like Teofimo Lopez, right? I mean, Terrence Crawford. Plus, right now, 147, you know, there's not really a clear, decisive guy at that division. So you beat any of those guys, you know, you're in the run, you know, of a legitimate, solid win at 147. There isn't really, I know there's Boots that people have looked at, has athleticism and very fast, twitchy, and very flashy, but he looked kind of subpar against a very tricky Karen. Brian Norman Jr. came off and beat the hell out of Santillan, which Santillan came off a great performance against Alexa Rocha. Santillan was a guy who was Mayweather and Pacquiao sparring partner, undefeated. So I think Brian Norman Jr. and Teo would be a great fight, personally. And Teo actually liked the idea of too. He said, yeah, he likes that fight too. So maybe in February or something like that, Teo and Brian Norman Jr. laces up the gloves. And Eddie Reynoso's in the corner of Teo, and Teo looks spectacular, and you can see the improvement, then I like that. I like that. So, and then maybe Teo can go and ask for a Ryan Garcia fight, or dare I say, Teofimo Lopez versus Jaron Boots Ennis if he goes and captures the title against a Brian Norman Jr. I like that. Sounds good. Cataro and Teo. Aldo Soares. Oh, yeah. Teo is really a regular to watch. Teo is really regular to watch. Rather watch Jake Paul fight. Damn. 140 has 3 other champs go unified. Yeah, but there's also politics. And I think personally, if you should fight Devin. But if you don't fight Devin, then go fight Brian Norman Jr. That should be an easy fight to make. I don't see Brian Norman Jr. not wanting to take a fight with Teofimo Lopez. I just don't. Modern King Teo already has a Hall of Fame resume. Beat the number 1 135, number 1 140. Good move on Teo, joining a new experienced trainer. Always good to grow and learn. Never stop learning in boxing. I agree with that. Teo is on the judge's payroll now. The Ish says, what up? What's up, man? Welcome back. Teo probably done took one of the wives to the movie. Oh, jeez. MS says, many fighters left Eddie Reynoso because he had no time for them. Canelo was the apple of his eye. Now Canelo is winding down his career. Eddie may be a good fit. He would def hold Teo's feet to the fire. Yeah, you also don't want to be in a camp like when Derek James had a lot of fighters. You know, it's hard to spread your time amongst everybody. So this might be a good time. Eddie Reynoso doesn't seem too busy, from my understanding. So, doesn't have the Andy Ruiz no more. I remember the Loma fight. It was okay, but Devin fight would have won me over as an authentic undisputed. He dropped the ball, honestly speaking. Javante fought an interim champ Barrios and a fake belt when Josh Taylor had all the real belts. Boy, you fighting the chat today, Aldo. I don't even have to read your chats no more, man. you good luck in the chat, brother. Teo's ex is getting his money in the banana. Jesus. Teo versus Rolly. Why is Tank and Team not trying to make a Teo versus Tank fight? I don't know. It's something that we would have to ask Tank, right? I think some of those comments didn't help Teo's case of trying to get a Javante fight. Big Turk gave us the blueprint back. Gustavo says, this is old news, though. We've seen this already. No, it's not old news. It's like they've been in camp and now it's been official that Eddie Reynoso is actually going to be an actual addition to their team. Not like, oh, we did some work and stuff like that. Like, I've seen fighters go in camp and move around a little bit with a camp and stuff like that. Like, Shakur Stevenson's done stuff with, Bomac and B&B. Doesn't mean that B&B and Bomac is his trainers. So, this is more of the official social media announcement. It is Josh Taylor was the man. Oh, okay, yeah. So let me get some new faces in here. I'm kind of reading a lot of the same as Teo defending. Daniel Never Ready says Teo versus Raw Unification Fire. 2 was using Bud and Tank's name for clout. Yeah, I mean, Teo is definitely trying to get his name and mix around all these guys, and he's doing a good job with it. I mean, I can't really say a good job. He's getting his name around them. Teo's name's already been around Tank. The Crawford thing has been new. Tank is the A side, and 135 Tank isn't bending to nothing Teo wants. GDP Smoke says Teo already has good movement. Now it becomes even better. He will learn a lot. I agree. Anthony Bryant, that's true. I agree with your take on Teo versus Keyshawn. Keyshawn made that fight between Davis needed ASAP because of the performance he put on. Yeah, but that fight ain't gonna happen anytime soon. Teo needs discipline. He's a loose cannon since Cambosos whooped him. Eddie would set him straight or tell him to get the F out of here. Oh, my bad. My camera needed to cool off a little bit. I'm still going to read the chat. I bet Tank would have said something if Keyshawn lost, though. Of course. Add Kaylee Taylor to the Canelo team just for some training. Keyshawn would fight Teo. I agree. Samuel Reyes Vegas says Teo has a better resume than Crawford, and it's true. Lomachenko is more accomplished than anybody in Crawford's resume. Or am I lying? I mean, it's subjective, Samuel. It's not the fashion. Sometimes it's not even the fact that, I get what you're saying. Like, you're saying that Lomachenko is this guy that was anointed as a top 3 pound for pound guy. I mean, a lot of people had Spence in their pound for pound list, Not as high as they had Lomachenko. So, but at the end of the day, it's pound for pound list is extremely subjective. So, I think both guys have done, great things in their career, and I'm not going to knock their accomplishments. I think at a certain point, you got to start just giving your honest opinion of these guys and not really try to bash their championship fights and their wins, because they both have solid wins. I don't think it's fair for me to try to tear down Teo's great wins or tear down Crawford's accomplishments. Teo has never experienced of going up 4 weight classes. Teo hasn't, officially done that. So, and at the end of the day, styles make fights. Crawford has never taken a loss. Teo has. So, really, at the end of the day, for me to kind of downgrade their performance or try to compare their performances and that type of level. They're both great fighters. They both done great things in the sport. So I'm not really going to try to destroy resumes, right? And ultimately, regardless of resume talks, it's not always about the resume. It's always about that particular fighter, People have said that over and over, that thought Spence's resume was better than Crawford's. And Crawford single-handedly destroyed Spence, Teo hasn't done anything for the sport yet. For the fight, Crawford did enough to fight Canelo. Yeah, seeing this once again, right after that, another person has felt the complete opposite of what you felt. So, as Teo preparing for Devin, I mean, Teo mentioned early on a live that he's saying that wasn't true, right? So, for some of you guys who think or heard a little bit about the Forbes thing, I can play that. Teofimo, Lopez, Devin Haney, all right? He's saying that's not true. He hasn't heard anything about that.
New York City in the house, baby.
What's up? Yeah.
It says you boxing Devin Haney? Yo, you boxing Devin Haney? Yeah. Okay.
Man, where all these rumors came out of, man? This shit came out of hat. It's crazy.
All right, listen, we're going to see.
I haven't had no contract.
Teo, you fighting Devin. Teo, yeah, so let's give me a story. Somebody say something.
Let me see what you got. They saying we negotiated? Who said we negotiated? Next year, I promise you guys that's going to happen. That fight's going to happen sometime in the summer next year. or closer to the fall of next year. 2025 is an amazing year for the takeover for everybody. You guys don't want to miss it, man. We got a lot of great fights to come up. I'm hearing rumors, of course, about the negotiations of me and Devin Haney. Right now, sorry to say, guys, but this is all false accusations until further notice, guys.
You heard it first, live in the living color.
Yeah, so the Devin stuff doesn't seem to be legit, right? So, it's Brian Norman's the only realistic fight above 140 in Teo or racist Ryan. Yeah, I mean, I think those are two fights that probably is going to be Teo's more likely opposition, and I think Brian Norman is a good opponent, man. And if you fight Ryan, who's won the public, even though that he's failed his drug test, people still feel like Ryan's the winner of the Devin Haney fight. So you beat Ryan, that makes you look good. You go beat Brian Norman, that makes you look good. You have a better case on, and your resume starts to look a lot better each time. Loma had great boxing in his resume, but Nakatani wasn't relevant after. But Gamboa and was others that Crawford beat had wins after. Claggart whooped the guy that Keyshawn Davis couldn't stop. Yeah, man. Styles make fights, man. Porter had a 3-year layoff. Earl Spence was only good opponent. Who do you think? Who did you fight at 140? That's elite. Who did he fight at 135? That's elite. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Teo's win against Josh Taylor is probably better than Terrence's. But at the same time, when you really think about it and look at it, you know, it really is probably more than... I'm about to ramble. Let me process. It's probably more than just who did he beat at the weight class. I think it's more of like, how do these guys look, right? Teo looked spectacular against Josh Taylor, but looked subpar against who was the guy before that? Sandor Martin. There we go, Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin was an opponent that many people thought Teofimo Lopez lost, right? There wasn't any controversial things going on Crawford's 140 run. Crawford's 140 run was pretty solid, straightforward. It leaves to the imagination that he would have dominated that 140 and potentially the 140 before. I do feel like the 140 division after Crawford left became a lot more glamorous. You know, there's the Ramirez's and the Taylors and things of that nature. But, you know, Teo's run at 140 led him to believe that, it led people to believe, like, do I still got it? You know? And a lot of people thought Sandor Martin won that fight. So, I'm not really here to go and say, look, this guy's 140 is trash and this guy's 140 is trash. Look, when you start trying to compare these guys' resumes and stuff like that, you have to really just sit down and be like, they both have done great things, right? They've done great things. So, personally, tearing down people's resumes is not the thing. I think it's more of a position, right? Crawford is clearly in an elevated position where Teo wants to be at. And to get into that position, right, you have to probably do certain fights or certain things to kind of get into, you know, that. Regardless if your 140 win might be better than Terrence's, right? Because a lot of people feel that Josh Taylor's win is a lot better than what Terrence did at 140. Well, Terrence was able to go to 147 and beat Errol Spence at 147. So, at the end of the day, some people might say his accomplishment at 147 trumps what Teo did at 140 against Josh Taylor, which many people felt he could have lost against Josh Catterall. So you can spin the narrative of whatever case is, and I see certain stuff that you're saying that I agree with some of the stuff you guys are saying, and some things I'm like, no other way around. But I'm not really here to tear down these guys' resumes. It's more about the idea of, hey, you know, I think that realistically, Teo's probably not going to get Terrence Crawford. His probably best bet is to probably pursue a Ryan Garcia fight, and his probably best bet to add to his legacy, right, is to go maybe fight a Brian Norman at 147. I think that would look tremendous on his resume personally. So, Benavidez at 175, but it's not moving up that much. It's not D-Ryan. I just knew what greatness looks like. Buzz. $25 million for a fight Spence is Buzz retirement check. Canelo would have even more, but Buzz retirement's imminent. What up, Coda? What's up, man? What's my link, bro? Yeah, I can do before I get off this live, I can throw a StreamYard link if some of you guys want to come up here and talk and debate. Which, by the way, all you guys are more than welcome. Aldo, A-Raw, all you guys. So, you know, I know a lot of you guys have great points in the chat. So, Ndongo, who gained his belts the hard way by going to Russia, I believe. Yeah, you know, I think the unfortunate thing about Crawford's career, too, is that a lot of the opponents that he faced just don't have a glamorous name, right? So, Mean Machine wasn't a glamorous name for Terrence Crawford, but later on we found out that Mean Machine was able to hang in there with a Virgil Ortiz. Yes, he lost to Virgil Ortiz, but now you can see Mean Machine ain't no punk, you know? He's able to fight a very strong, tough kid that fights now at 154, so... I'm ready to talk some shit. Don't worry, I'll get the StreamYard going. So, Crawford put out a Shakur-style snooze fest against Majimov. I mean, you can also say the same thing about Teo versus, what, Jermaine Ortiz? What? I don't understand. When fighters have, when people have a preference of a fighter, you know, it's not necessarily you got to tear down all the fighters around because to try to elevate your fighter. You know, he's joining the Juice team. Majimov boxed and took the air out of the fight. I think Majimov is a tricky kind of fighter. You know, Teo stays away from the PEDs. What happened to Teo versus Dem? They skipped that one. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. You want to change the video, DVR? You getting tired of seeing that? Sure. What do you want? You want me to? Canelo, Teofimo, Lopez. Where is it? There, we can put some. Canelo meets Teofimo Lopez.
Canelo's coming. Can I come through here? Here comes Canelo.
Alright, let me cut that down. Alright, let me skim around. Sorry if I accidentally missed. I'm gonna start trying to get some names I haven't. Murd 15. Teo definitely brought in Eddie for the Devin fight. That'd be smart. Canelo is going to teach him to duck the best fighter, fight lesser competition. You crazy. P1, Eddie ain't going nowhere. Teo's coming to his new camp. Teo's nice, y'all. Crazy don't fight Boots, who's the Crawford of his era, if you want to say it like that. But he want to fight Boots, but okay, that kind of confused me. What up, round one? What's going on, man? Other way around. Crawford ran like a bitch. That was so funny. Teo beats everyone 140. Edwin, what's up, man? Bruh, prime Amir Khan would destroy some of these modern day 140s. Even with the bad chin. Yo, Amir Khan was fast, man. And he was able to get punched up by Maidana, man. He survived the Maidana fight. He actually hurt Maidana too. The fights what we want, we don't get. The fights that we want, the other fighters don't want. I got Ryan beating my favorite fighter, Tank in a rematch. Damn. I don't know about that, Coda, man. You can't take 2 L's from me, bro. Back to back. Richard was a huge win for TL. Yeah, that was a step up, you know. But you can also look at, you know, Richard Comey's career and, you know, what was Richard Comey's resume, right? Like I said, I don't like tearing people's guys down, but, you know, that was a strong-handed puncher. I was at that fight. I remember they both swung hooks at the same time. Who did he win his title from again, right? He won the vacant IBF against Isa Chanaev. And I think, who had that? Was it Mikey Garcia who had that belt? Yes, it was Mikey Garcia after he beat Robert Easter. It was vacant. Then he beat Raymond Beltran. Yeah, he stopped Beltran. What part of Beltran's career was that? Okay, pretty late. Pretty late. Okay, but he did stop Ray Beltran. And then that's when he fought T.O. And then, yeah, things just didn't go great. He did stop Jackson Marinas, which gave Frank Martin a good fight. So, but so Jermaine Sandor Martin were running for their lives versus Tio. George Camboso showed us what was up. You can't say Tio has 2 big wins because in that case Crawford only has 1 big win, and that's Spence Lomachenko is more accomplished than Josh Taylor is more. I still don't understand. Just because like someone has done this doesn't mean that his accomplishments warrants more or other. Like that's why I think I don't really do pound for pound list. Tio has 2 lineal titles. Terrence is a 4-division world champion. Some people might weigh this more than this. Some people might like the Lomachenko and Josh Taylor more like you, right? Because you feel like those guys have accomplished more and done things more versus him only beating Spence, right? But at the end of the day, it really just doesn't really matter. It's what I'm trying to say, right? Because it's more of position of power. When you have something that someone else wants, right? And clearly Crawford has something that Tio wants. Tio is going to want that. Crawford doesn't see anything that he wants in Tio. He wants something in Canelo. Canelo doesn't really see anything in Crawford. So that's kind of like none of these guys are going to really want to fight each other because they don't really offer each other what they want, right? Keyshawn Davis is not getting a Tio fight because Tio don't really see anything that he can get from Keyshawn Davis. You get what I'm saying? So we're just kind of in this perpetuating cycle of just what can you offer me that I want? So comparing accomplishments and accolades and things like that, I think comparing Tio and Crawford in a sense is like a 4-division world champion. Never really had any type of controversial fights at 140. Never had any controversial fights at 147. I know that people are mixed bag with Madrimov. I'm not going to be out here, but we have to see what Madrimov turns out to be, right? So let's say Madrimov is a complete dud. That adds to your merit, Samuel. But if Madrimov goes off and starts destroying the 154 division, that might not age well. So, I give these guys credit for what they've done. Terrence Crawford did not have a promotional company backing him at the age that Teofimo Lopez did. Tio was very young, and he accomplished things very young, and that has nothing to do with Terrence. That's not Terrence's. That's not Tio's fault for Terrence, right? But Terrence was in multiple promotional situations, eventually had to work through stuff, and eventually finally got some opportunities. And even when he was, in big positions and things like that, a lot of his opponents that he wanted to fight wasn't on his promotional side. While Tio was at the luxury of having, Lomachenko being elevated to a franchise, and they were able to make that type of fight for what it was valued. Then he was able to go fight Josh Taylor, which was also underneath the same promotional company, the same house. So you got to put those things into factor. Like, everyone wants to be undisputed, but everyone else has to understand that undisputed, and both those guys make their claims of undisputed. I mean, Terrence doesn't have a controversial undisputed situation, but, to be undisputed also takes luck. Yeah, it's not the luck that you don't have the skills to get it. It's the luck that you have the opportunity. And opportunity comes for certain guys. And Tio has been a guy who had a lot of great opportunities, and he took advantage of it at a young age, and he did his thing. But he also had a shortcoming. He overcame those adversities and was able to beat Josh Taylor afterwards. And now we're here again. Can you do it again? He's asking for Terrence Crawford, trying to, do it 3 times, right? So it's just, to me, like, we're talking about 2 guys that have accomplished a lot in the sport. And it's not really the best thing to just try to tear down guys. Like, at the end of the day, I've seen guys with lesser resumes beat, I beat guys who are more accomplished, right? By all means, You know, Lomachenko has, by all means, somewhat has accomplished more in multiple divisions than Teo has in his, right? So, like, Teo is completely not as proven at that point. So that doesn't always tell the case. And based off that, and, you know, I know Teo always brings up, like, lineal, right? I think see Modern King at the way bottom. Yeah, Terrence is a 3-time lineal, you know? So, I mean, it's almost trophies at this point, right? We know that these guys are at a level they're above the average Joe. Now, who's better than each other? Then they just have to fight, right? And sometimes it doesn't happen. Canelo was 44 when he fought Mayweather. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Edwin is a tactical game plan with Teo. It's like he runs out of ideas in the ring sometimes. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of things with Teo, right? Sometimes it's his mental situation that's probably what's going on in his life. It's probably the game plan that was going on, you know? And sometimes it's his opponent, right? I agree. Teo fighting Richard was needed. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting that unification bout. He ended up with getting Loma. Yeah, and like they also rushed that because Top Rank wanted to probably get their money off all the promotion they've been putting on Teo and Loma. So Teo beats Crawford but loses to Tank. It's a fair opinion. To the people who was talking about the Kambosos loss, Teo tried to rematch Cam after, and Cam turned it down to fight Loma at 135. Same way Haney ducked Teo last year, and Sabrio ducked Teo early this year. It's a lot to process. Kambosos went to look for a money fight, which Lomachenko was offering more money than Teo. They would have ended up fighting in like the Hulu Theater again. Loma and him would have been fighting in a stadium. Loma and Devin fought in that stadium, and Kambosos made a lot of money and made a lot of money in the rematch. And then Kambosos ended up getting Lomachenko later on again for a lot of money. Haney ducked Teo last year. I mean, I don't know who was telling the truth in that situation, unfortunately. I've heard a little back and forth, but I can't disprove those type of things and can't really. But Devin went to fight Ryan Garcia, which was considered a more lucrative fight once again, so going for the money. Sabrio Matias ducked Teo earlier this year. How did he duck Teo this year? I guess that one I don't. Well, I kind of heard a little bit about it, Don. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't really too invested into that. I think it was something about someone was injured or something and things like that. But at the end of the day, Don, just so you know, I've always picked Teo to beat Matias. Teo and Matias fought in the same card once upon a time, and I saw them both fight, and I thought Teo still was able to beat Matias, personally. So I was actually always the person who believed Teo was going to beat Matias. Teo will be using PEDs with Eddie Reynoso. Gervonta also beats Crawford in boots. Man, we just throwing stuff all over the place and just seeing if it sticks tonight. Teo can't beat nobody that we want to see him face. It is written. Pokey Lewis. Teo's trash. Tank or Bud would beat him to sleep. He can't box. 42-0 and 1 was Canelo's record when he fought Mayweather. Correct. What about Blair the Flair? Blair just ain't going to be able to get an opponent, unfortunately. Coda says, y'all have mad hate in y'all hearts, and 90% of y'all think talk shit ain't even fighters. And that's why y'all talk shit, because y'all don't even fight to be humbled. Is Teo Sr. cool with the move? If he is, shout out to him for the humility. Yeah, Teo, Sr. is. Sr. is the one that's orchestrated this, and he pushed for it. So, you know, props to him for recognizing that as a father and as a trainer, to see that if you need more help to get your son and fighter to another level, then props to you, man. You know, and props for Junior for, you know, listening to his father and staying, you know, loyal and faithful to that. So, and it benefited him because now he has not one, but 2 Eddie Futch trainers in his corner, right? Which elite world champion Gervonta Davis beat? I'm just wondering if you can answer my question. Oh, man. Look, I really think that a lot of his contemporaries... Oh, my camera took a break. I'll let my camera rest a little bit. I think it's heating up right now. I got to get that fixed. But, you know, I'll be honest with you when it comes to Tank. Tank does not have a sexy resume. You know, Tank is actually a person where you kind of have to look and kind of do a lot of eye tests, right? The fact that he's the oldest of his peers and he doesn't have, like, the Lomachenko or he hasn't had like Devin or Ryan or Tio or Shakur. You know, I get that. You know, I think ultimately at the end of the day, just sometimes when a person's resume doesn't necessarily match other people's does not mean that they don't win the fight. I personally just think that Tank has a better chance with a good chunk of these guys, right? But do I also feel that Tank can also lose to a lot of these guys? Absolutely, because that's why we want to see it, right? If we're talking about fights and these fights need to be made, it's because somewhere along the line that it's going to be somewhat competitive on paper, right? And Tank is considered competitive with all these guys. Do you feel that Tank loses to all these guys, Samuel? Okay, it's an opinion. But I know that you don't think that. I think that you think Tank would give Devin a good fight. You know, he's already technically beaten Ryan. I know the rehydration, but he's beaten Ryan. Ryan accepted it. So he got Ryan scalp. You know, him and Tank could be explosive, right? Whoever gets caught in that fight. You know, the list goes on. So the only thing Tio is going to get is gaining from Eddie is the co-trainers learn how to cut the ring and throw selective violent punches and apply better pressure to the opponent, something that Canelo does. And to be honest, Con, that is really fucking important because Tio seems like in the last couple of fights, he's kind of struggled with cutting off the ring. The Sandor Martins, the Jermaine Ortizes. So if he can get that together, then I think that helps Tio become a lot more of a complete fighter, right? I think Tio is great on the mid outside range boxer puncher. And when he goes on the offense, he kind of struggles with guys that move around a little bit. So personally, I think that's going to be a requirement in his arsenal if he wants to get better. It's out of frustrating listening to bitter boxer talk. I grew up with boxers. Rest in peace, Lavender Johnson. Shout out to the beast from the East, John Brown. Tio versus Blair is a good fight for Tio to get his feet at 147. I think a lot of these guys would fight Blair would be a good fight at 147. This is Tio's coming out the closet party. Robbie Henderson. He's about to get on that juice therapy. Yo, I promise you I see the juice joke almost like every 2 minutes. Pugilism, what's up? I told you Canelo versus Bud, Tio versus Silver, Bullet, Keyshawn, and 2 Vargas brothers, 2 Davis brothers for Cinco de Mayo. Let's motherfucking go. Ryan's in the bag for Tio. Sounds like Chris Rock. All these guys at 140 have excuses for not anybody. 140 is stacked. Yeah, they should be fighting each other. Richardson Hitchens about to fight Paro, so that should be another addition. Josh Taylor was washed. Mario Bars would smoke Josh Taylor, and Tank smoked Mario. Prime, like Josh Taylor in his prime versus Mario Bar, because I do feel like Josh Taylor was not himself, but I'm not going to discredit Tio's win. Like Tio technically won the fight. He was undefeated. You got to give the man, you know. I did pick Tio to beat Josh Taylor for that, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna discredit that man's win, you know. That's a stat card for marbles, bro. I pay to see that card. Tio beat Sandor 97-92. Oh, damn. You thought it was that wide? But it's been about it. Either that Boots versus Brian Jr. or Keyshawn versus Andy Cruz. Same card. Ryan definitely can't make 147. I mean, if Terrence has done great things, then you can't just say he had a solid 140 run. I didn't say he had like a solid 140 run. He was undisputed. He fought everyone that was available at the time. So regardless if you think that was not better than someone else's 140, you know, then that's fine. You know, that's a matter of opinion. But what was he supposed to do? Go get a time machine and go in the future and go back? Like, he cleared the division. And this is what happens sometimes. When you are that dominant and fights aren't competitive, it's easy to just be like, well, that division was just trash. What if you went to war with all those guys, right? You know, what if all those guys competitively, like, what's funny to me is like a stacked division doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, everyone's beating the shit out of each other and everything's close. So that means it's good because of that. It could literally be just, no, there's good fighters in there and a guy goes there and just runs through them, right? You know? So ultimately, the undisputed run that Josh Taylor had, many people felt was better than Terrence's because they were all beating the shit out of each other, you know. But, you know, at a certain point, the 135ers came up and just washed the 140s. Devin went and washed Regis. Teo went and washed Josh Taylor. Barboza just completely single-handedly outboxed Ramirez recently. So Maurice Hooker went to war with Virgil Ortiz and Maurice and Ramirez. So it was a division full of wars, man. And yes, Josh Taylor was able to clear that out, but I don't know, man. I think it's just funny how people are just trying to always just take an idea of the fact that if someone goes to a division and they become undisputed, that like that's not good enough, right? They fought who they were supposed to fight. If they were marquee names or not, He lost the same way Mikey Garcia lost to him. Yeah. Hey, Chicago, April. Guess what? You suck. All right? More than welcome to go wherever you want. But at the end of the day, you're still going to watch the channel. So I appreciate your views anyways. All Crawford runs will be studied. I'm a real boxing Hall of Fame. It was written in glory. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Crawford's been at the top of the food chain for a very long time. So all these names are like food chains in the ecosystem. All these modern day guys make me appreciate Floyd, Manny, Cotto, Marquez a lot more. And at that time, you remember, those guys were heavily criticized for a very long time as well. So I think everyone just has their eras, man. And it's always easy that once you live through an era to take the current era you're going through and just shit on it, because you're not living in hindsight. You're living at a time where you're uncertain of what these guys are capable of doing versus looking back and being like, well, that guy beat this guy, and that guy later after he beat him became this monster and went on a tear. Like, you have so much more hindsight information. So who knows what Majimov becomes, right? Majimov might be Crawford's greatest win if we give time. Maybe not. Maybe his resume ages like shit. Maybe Teo goes on and fights a guy like Brian Norman Jr. and later on Brian Norman Jr. becomes, the fucking man and just tears through. And if he beats, so we're not living in hindsight. So we got to like separate ourselves from trying to compare and just live in the moment. Let these guys figure it out, and once their careers are done, then after that, we can compare, right? Because what happens if Crawford, and I'm just saying in a hypothetical world, what if Crawford magically gets Canelo to fight and then beats Canelo? Then everything in this chat that's in Teo's defense ages like shit. Like, it completely ages like dog shit, What if Teo fights, I don't know, Ryan, Tank, Shakur, and they all knock him out. You know what I mean? So Teo's a nut. I bet my money he leaves Reynoso after 2 fights. Oh man. All right. I'm gonna do 4 more minutes of catching up with the chat, and then I'm gonna throw up the StreamYard and let some of you guys come in the chat. Martin King, exactly, Ron. It's about how you stay consistent and what accolades you achieve to gain and keep your pound for pound status. I'm in the eyes of the world of fans mainly. Yeah, I mean, look, I've always appreciated consistency, right? And that's why when you see me criticize a fighter, it's very mild, because if they look like that in 1 fight, it could be a one-off. If they look like that in 2 fights, if it looks like that in 3, 4 fights, now we have a pattern. And Teo has had patterns, if you like it or not. Teo is an extremely talented kid who has patterns. Now we don't know what version we get of him. So unfortunately with that, it's kind of the state that we live in. And Eddie Reynoso being added to Teo's camp is a great thing for Teo, because what he lacks is the consistency, great performance. And hopefully Eddie Reynoso, who's worked with a guy like Canelo, who's shown consistency for a great long period of time, can bring some of that out in Teo, Teo did it at younger age than Crawford, this move. Yeah. But you also understand opportunities is also a thing too, right? You got to also remember, some people have greater and better opportunities. The pound for pound list was never based on accomplishments before. It was based on skill, best pound for pound in the world. Literally pound for pound. for pound, not just great or skilled in one weight class. It's really just subjective. It just really doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Khan says the best path for Tio to finish 140 strong is by beating Barboza, given now he's on a good win over Jose, and then move to 147 to challenge Brian for the title, at least tune up and then go for it. I like that. I mean, I don't think the fight with Barboza would be great, but if he actually goes off and sleeps Barboza and then goes on Brian Norman Jr., I mean, I'm okay with that, you know. Anything that ends with Brian Norman Jr., I think is great, you know. Which, granted, Brian Norman Jr. isn't a proven 147 fighter, but I'll give Tio credit if he goes fights and beats Brian Norman Jr. You know, it's a tough, strong, physically rugged guy who's willing to trade toe-to-toe, and he's developing and getting better as a fighter as we speak, so. Tio Jr. should be mad not getting the rematch versus Kambosos in Australia. That was money. This is prize fighting. Yeah. After a certain point, man, these trophies and these lineal titles and all that stuff is great. But at the end of the day, these guys do want to get paid. And Tio is looking for a payday. And he wants to fight Tank or Crawford because that's what's going to happen. He's going to get paid handsomely, you know. And, you know, hopefully Tio can get an opportunity like that. Devin missed a meeting with Bob, Arum, Tio, Sr., and Jr. to negotiate to fight. Devin ducked, and he wanted to fight Barboza when Tio said he's retiring. Then told Dev, yeah, see, it's just, I don't know, man. At a certain point, man, if they don't fight, then it is what it is. You're trying to remember all that stuff is mental gymnastics. Devin and Tio are practically tailor-made for each other. So if they don't fight each other, then the problem is more with both of them, really. They got to figure that shit out. You know, at a certain point, the accountability has to be put on both fighters versus one, right? If Errol Spence and Crawford were able to talk to each other and get it together, that's two fighters working out. If Manny Pacquiao and Floyd were able to talk to each other and work it out, then, you know. So when it comes to Devin and Tio, at a certain point, you just have to just stop picking a side and really just saying, fuck it. It's both their faults, right? Because they've been both campaigning in similar weights for a long period of time. They fought similar opposition, same opponents. And really, at the end of the day, they've been inches away from each other multiple times to fight. So they need to figure out at some point before it becomes Amir Khan and Kell Brook. So nobody doubts that Tank isn't good. We just doubt his willingness to take risks and take 50-50 fights. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, when you're in that position where you're the man and you're getting all this money and stuff like that, it's kind of like let those guys beat each other up. And then when it's time for me to fight them, then I'll fight them, right? I don't think Tank is ducking them. I think Tank has his own type of advisory, you know, and it's not what the fans want to see or hear, but at the end of the day, you know, Tank has stated multiple times, you know, when he feels like the belts matter, they matter. When they don't, they don't. When it's prize fighting 1 minute, you know, next thing, you know, he wants all the smoke with everyone. So at the end of the day, Tank really gets to call the shots, because if Tank wants to fight these guys, 99% of them are all going to jump and say, yeah, about time, Tank, I want to fight you. So he's just in that good position, man. I just have one more question. If you take off Errol Spence from Crawford's resume, would he still be pound for pound, and why? Well, I think at this case right now, people make a great case that Usyk is pound for pound because of the stuff that he's done with Tyson Fury. But when you look at it, Terrence was really sitting at pound for a lot of people's list prior to even having the Spence fight. So, no, I don't think by not having Spence takes away Crawford's ability to maintain a good spot on the pound for pound list. I think eventually he will be starting to get dropped with guys like Inoue and Usyk and, you know, other guys that are, you know, fighting fights that fans feel that are like 50-50 fights, or they're the underdog. I just think when you see Terrence, right, and maybe, and I'll be blunt, maybe I'm just biased, right, and it's okay, right? I'm just trying to be transparent. You know, the things that Terrence does as a fighter, I like. Those are the things that I look for, right? The adjustments. Terrence is a guy where you see that he doesn't fight one style. He's not one dimensional, right? So like when I see guys that fight like Usyk or Bam Rodriguez or Inoue or even Gervonta, right? They show multiple different type of dimensions where they can show that they can box. They can show that they can go forward. They can show when they need to pick shots and be a rangy power puncher. They show spots where they have to brawl. They show when they have adversity, you have to come from behind. You know, if it's even from injury. They fight guys that are 3 times, essentially 20 pounds bigger than them, right? Like significantly. Inoue, Usyk, Crawford, Tank. These guys fight guys that are relatively big, regardless of if you feel that they're in the same weight class, like Tank is tiny, bro. Like Tank is tiny. Do you know how big Devin and Ryan and the width that Teo, like these guys are big. So regardless of the fact that someone's skill set you feel matches someone else's, you know, you watch what they do around people around the weight classes that other people aren't capable of doing. They go in there and they fight guys that realistically they should lose because of the pure mass that the guy has. But they show the adjustments that they have that the other guys in their weight class don't possess. And so that's why they're able to go through that division as if they were meant for that division. And then eventually you start looking at the best of that division and go, well, that guy needs to fight that guy. And that tiny guy looks at the big guy who can't make 135 and 140 for crying out loud and goes, that's a big ass dude. Rehydrate that motherfucker, please. Right? Mario Barras is a big ass 140. And I'm not saying that to me, I'm a fan of a rehydration clause, right? Because now you have a reason to go and say, oh, well, there's the reason why, because he wasn't at himself. Yeah. But then you kind of look at it and go, all right, if Tank fought Devin at 140 because it's Devin's more optimal weight, right? Is that Javante's optimal weight? No. If Devin comes down to fight Tank at 135 and Ryan goes and fights Tank at 135, is that their optimal weight? No. So as somewhere along the line, no one's really getting their optimal weight. But the one who brings the cachet and the money is going to dictate. And unfortunately, Tank is the guy that does that. So if they want to fight Tank and get the money, they unfortunately have to succumb to his demands. And that's where I think people get mad about Tank. But what really, in my opinion, about the pound for pound is just showing that you can go regardless of the person's marquee names. Like, you guys know boxing. You can really look at a guy and be like, yeah, he's not popular. Yes, he hasn't accomplished a lot in his career, but he's a tricky little guy. And I feel that that guy can give a lot of people problems if he was matched up with other people. And we've all done that before. So some guys get marquee names and their opponents are really trash, actually, because the opponents are just really popular. And the other guys are really tough guys that no one knows and resonates, but they're legitimately the good fighters. And these guys who dare to go multiple divisions, and that's why I give Teo credit too, because he's at 140. He went from 130 140. He's a big 135, but he still moved up, fought Josh Taylor, and then later up, gone up, wants to go to 154 and fight Terrence. So those are my kind of accolades and stuff. Teo's problems that he can't fight coming forward. Yeah, he can't cut off the ring. So, if Usyk was American or even from England, we'd never stop hearing about it. Usyk is on a historical run. Yeah, for sure. And really, to be honest, also when you fight guys that you aren't meant to win and you win consistently, then you continue. Like my opinion, I thought Joshua was supposed to beat Usyk, right? But Usyk beat him. I thought Fury was supposed to beat Usyk, but Usyk beat him, damn near almost stopped him. So Usyk is defying essentially the odds because guys in their weight class, their size, don't possess the skills, even though they have either the advantage of the same weight or even bigger. Tyson's huge, so, but you know what I'm saying? So he has to overcome, when you have to overcome those things and have to rely on pure skill to defy those things, then absolutely, you know? T-Fox is, in my opinion, Shakur is the more skilled fighter as far as the eye test. Shakur is a guy that's moving up multiple different weight classes, and, you know, so that's what I look for. And really, I give all these guys merit, even Canelo. You know, I know people criticize Canelo, but Canelo is also a guy, very small guy fighting these bigger guys, and I give him props. All right, so let me open the StreamYard. I know Coda's been wanting to go on. Like I said, real quick, if any of you guys want to jump on the StreamYard, I'll do like a little quick run, let you guys chat. You guys can chew me out. You know, just be respectful as always. You know what I mean? You guys can be mad, passionate. You guys can debate. You guys can call me an idiot and all that type of stuff. You know, you don't know boxing. Just do it in a way where it's just obviously respectful, right? You know what I'm saying? But I'll be posting the StreamYard link if a lot of you guys want to jump in and chat. Be my guest. The more people that jump in, the shorter amount of time that I'll give the guy speaking. All right. But if no one wants to jump on, then, you know, the person who's in is going to be running the ship a little bit. I'm going to let them kind of blab off and run their mouth a little bit. So I'm going to post the StreamYard link. Jump in right now, you know. let you guys kind of jump on. Feel free, obviously, to kind of stick on the topic a little bit, right? Um, you know, but if you spear off and go on other things, just try not to go on super tangents. But let me see. Let me pin this real quick. Yeah, so the StreamYard link is there. Feel free to jump in, and I'll let you guys chat away. Fury's beating Usyk in a rematch. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people mention that. That was a very close fight. If Bud was from New York, you'll never stop hearing about him. I mean, Bud's from the right state. America has a gem in Crawford's people. Rico's, yo, what's up, man? Yes, Rochester, New York. Bud's from Omaha, the financial capital of the world of the sport of prize fighting. New York City, LA, just media hubs. Omaha got bank. Yeah, I mean, he was able to actually get a following too. Like, he actually has support, like crazy support. The support that when I went to the parade in Omaha was insane. Like I wonder why parades don't happen more often. I mean, I guess because the simple fact that boxing isn't where it kind of should be. But all right, I got someone jumping in. Let me switch my camera right here. All right. Give me 1 second. All right, Shine. Let's see. Let me jump in real quick. All right. What's up, Shine?
Yo, what's up, man?
I got you on, man.
What's going down?
Good, man. Well, the floor is yours, man. What you want to talk about, man?
I just disagreed with a little something that you said a couple minutes ago. About you said that if we don't get the T.O. versus Devin fight, then we gotta blame it on both of them because it's kind of like the Errol and Spence situation. That's correct, right? That's basically what you were saying, right? It can get to that point, is what you're getting at, right?
At a certain point, let's say like these guys have been in talks, right? Everyone's been seeing Devin and Tio for like, I don't know, 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time for two guys to like not come together and be like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Take a little bit more money. We just need to get this fight going. Like, if it's a short period of time, things happen, right? This guy might have been in a better position. I didn't want to fight him because of this. Makes sense. It's getting to a point. It's getting a point to Tio and Devin got another 5 more years before these guys get into like they 32s, and they've been negotiating about wanting to fight each other since they were like 20. So that's a long time.
Yeah. Okay. True. But if we read between the lines, obviously it's one person's fault why the fight ain't happening.
You feel like it's Tio? Is that why you?
I mean, hey, you said it, not me.
Well, I'm just guessing. I guess I'm asking. Do you feel that
Well,
Tio in most cases have been the roadblock? Which I agree. In the beginning, I feel Tio has definitely.
in the beginning, in the middle, now, in the present. I mean, when does it change? When has Tio ever challenged himself against somebody of the four kings that we really don't know, like what he's gonna look like who is he gonna beat? We really don't know if he's gonna beat Ryan. We don't know if he's gonna be Tank. We don't know if he's gonna beat Devin. And he's never challenged himself against one of them. He's never really actively tried to make a fight. All he's done is talk on YouTube interviews, and just literally all T.O. does is start false narratives about the situations that never happened. Like, it's so obvious. I don't see how people don't read between the lines with this dude. He doesn't really want to challenge himself for real. He's just like Terrence Crawford. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's just talking. And then the information came out that Turkey offered him. Devin said he wanted to fight. He said he wasn't ready. And you know what's crazy? As soon as it was announced, this man was on the highway driving and said, "Oh no, this is false. This is false." Like, he couldn't wait to shoot that down. Like, come on, bro. Like, if you
Well,
really trying to make a fight happen, you not gonna say nothing. You gonna be quiet. That's why I respect Tech. Like, Tech don't say nothing until the fight is actually happening and it's coming and it's here. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, bro, T.O. is a fraud, bro. Like, he's so irritating.
all right, Shine. It looks like someone jumped in. They said they wanted to chat with you, and I'm actually gonna make this little
What's
quick.
up?
I'm gonna make a little free for all. I got Larry Tucker and Coda in here, so I'm gonna make this kind of like a Smash Bros session.
Nah,
So,
I love to talk boxing. Let's go.
Sean know me from Blue Blood.
Coda, my boy.
What's going on, man?
What's up, bro? How you feeling, bro? Everything good?
Hey, chilling, going through emotions and like Davey lost about
Salute.
lost about 15 pounds in the last month, getting ready for some good sparring.
That's
Am
what's
I in?
up. That's what's up.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
got you.
Oh
in,
yeah,
man.
what's up? Yeah,
What's up?
this what I had to say. I was listening to the gentleman before Sean got on when he was running down everything he was saying as far as like how to fight. It'll be this or that if they don't make the fight. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I'm a little older than y'all. I used to street fight a lot. But I just say that to show you where I come from. Like we used to fight with hands, it before everybody wanted to pull out guns and all that. Everybody used to fight in the streets, hand fight. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say, T.O., I love T.O. because he really been wanting to fight everybody. But this the thing. This is what I want to point out to y'all. Everybody be hating on T.O., but T.O. is not working on nobody else's time. This what y'all got to realize. All them guys be trying to call him out, but he already making his way. Before any of them guys got hard up to fight Lemachenko, he sacrificed to fight Lemachenko.
Bro, you gotta stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap.
Yo,
Sam,
cat, yeah,
Sam, real
mute that,
quick.
mute that.
I think you have audio in the background. If you just turn the stream off, Sam. So
Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. So, T.O., everybody be hating on T.O. Like, it's crazy because T.O. is making, like, if he was to stop fighting today or tomorrow, his record is a lot better than a lot more than half the guys that's fighting.
Record or you mean
His status.
no, you mean his like his resume.
His status. I'm saying
Not
status. You saying resume. You gotta
bro.
listen to me, bro.
That's
That's why you
cap.
gotta let me talk. And
That's
then,
cap.
All right, go ahead. But status is crazy. But go ahead.
okay, when I'm saying status, I'm saying like, who else fought Lemachenko when he was the boogeyman? When
Again,
they
that's
was calling,
resume.
hold on, bro. Can I talk? When they was calling Nomad Machenko and all that, everybody was scared of him. Javante, everybody, bro.
That's cap. That's
Can
cap.
I say
Lomable Duck and
Hold on,
Javante.
hold on.
I'm just saying, you
Bro,
cap. You gotta say facts.
Coda, let him
you
speak.
not
Let him
talking
speak.
facts
All
though?
right,
Let him
come
speak,
on,
my
and
fault.
then
bro.
My
let
fault.
We
Larry, and then
gotta listen to each other.
I'll let you rebuttal Coda. Let
My
Larry
Yeah,
fault.
we
My
speak.
just
fault. My
gotta
Yeah,
fault.
listen to
I
each
gotta
other, bro.
rebuttal this too, cause he really talking at me. But
I'm talking to everybody. I'm being in general. I ain't. We all together. We all having a conversation
not in the
together.
disrespectful way. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like I was talking before you, so you got to be referring to what I was
I
saying.
understand what you're saying.
You feel me?
So check it. So T.O., when nobody wanted to fight Lemachenko, he stepped up. That should just keep people from talking about him because all them guys that were supposed to be better fighters than him and everything, they didn't step up, man. You know how many times if I was with my crew and I knew that we was together and I knew I was the best fighter, I would step up like, come on, me and you. Like that take a lot, bro. You gotta respect the man for that. And T.O. is saying stuff and people calling him racist. T.O. is black. T.O.'s black,
Bro,
Tio's
what
nigga.
does this got to
Honduran,
do with
bro.
anything? Like, can
See,
we
that's what I'm saying. He not black.
he
Tio's
long winded and
Honduran.
everything, and this don't got
He's from
nothing to do with that.
Honduras.
Bro, hold on. Bro,
Larry,
hold
Could you
on,
wrap
hold on.
it
Let
up
me
so we can
Larry,
respond?
hold on.
let me switch it over to them because there's a lot to manage, right? There's
But I'm just saying, they ain't even let me talk. They just jumping
all right,
on me.
all right. So real
You
quick, so
you
real
got
quick,
to it.
Larry, I'll give you 1
Go
minute,
ahead.
okay?
Go ahead.
And I'll let you wrap because I gotta
All right,
move
go ahead.
everyone around, okay?
All right, go ahead.
So I'll give you 1 more minute, and just so you can clear your thoughts.
Okay, all right. So what I'm saying is, if you got any black in you, you black. That's just
Hold on, Sam. Yeah, my fault. Go
hold
ahead.
on. Hold on, bro. If you got any black in you, and by law, you consider black. That's just how it's set up. I ain't make it up. That's just how it is. Tio only talking from a standpoint of like he with everybody else. He ain't racist and none of that. Everybody keep on trying to make this man this and that. It's, at the end of the day, it's about boxing. And Tio is stepping up. And just because the fight ain't being made, you can't get mad at Tio. Tio just being who he is. Like, you ain't gonna make if me and you got a store and you say, oh, come buy from my store. No, you come buy from my store. It's just an option. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want to buy from nobody's store. That's just how it is. So when it comes down to the fighting, they ain't gonna go for each other's stuff because both of them, they their own man.
All right,
Like
Larry.
just like this the last thing. It's the last thing. Just like when Earl Spence, when he fought Crawford, he the one bent down to Crawford. He didn't have to fight Crawford. He the one he made that fight. If he didn't make that fight and follow some of Crawford rules, it would have never
Only
happened.
1 minute.
All right, Larry, I gotta cut you off real quick.
Go ahead.
I'll let you come. I gotta let Shine respond, and
Go
then I
ahead. I'm
gotta let
listening. Go ahead.
then I gotta let Coda come in.
Go ahead.
For sure. Okay, we not finna talk about race and all of this stuff. We finna talk boxing. That don't have nothing to do with the topic at hand. For one,
Bro, the reason why I said that is
Larry,
because
it's
Larry,
my
they got
Larry,
turn.
They
going
call
It's
on
it.
my
He
turn.
said
about
that because they call
anything,
him
though, bro.
racist.
That's
It's
what
my
I'm being,
turn.
bro. But I'm trying to help you to
It's my
understand.
turn, Larry.
No, but they jumping on him about everything. That's my point.
That-
Everything he do, oh, you did that. Why you call that cat that? Why you look like that? They just trying to make up anything on T.O., bro. That's my
Bro,
point.
nobody cares. They do it to every fighter. They call Tank a Oompa Loompa. They call Devin the monkey. They bro, nobody care, bro. What are you talking about?
Go ahead,
Everybody gets
clarify what you're
called
saying,
different
bro, because you just
things.
want to be argumentative.
Larry,
I done
Larry,
Bro,
forgot
this
more
is
than you
not being
know, bro.
argumentative. You
Larry,
bringing
You
up
are.
Larry,
Go ahead.
irrelevant points.
Go ahead,
Larry,
I'm listening.
I don't want to mute your mic, but I gotta let Shine speak.
I'm listening, bro.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
listening to him.
okay. So
Like
go ahead, Shine.
that was totally irrelevant to what I was talking about with
Okay,
Rod.
so go ahead,
So
Shine.
let me get into it. First of all,
I should have
nobody
fired.
was scared to fight Lomachenko. Devin Haney rose his hand so many times to fight Lomachenko. It was so many people who wanted to fight Lomachenko as well. Tank wanted to fight him, but Tank was in a protective program. Like,
Cap.
what are
Devin
you
Haney
talking
really
about?
lost, bro.
Bro, let
Devin
me
Haney really
finish,
lost
bro.
that
Let me
fight.
Hold on, let
finish.
him
Let
go,
me
bro.
finish.
I
Let me
gotta
finish.
mute. Now I gotta mute.
Let me finish.
I don't want me to mute, Gav. I gotta mute at this point.
Thank
So,
you,
Shine.
bro. Okay, so Devin literally called this man out after 2 of his fights. Lomachenko could have fought Devin Haney. He was supposed to fight Devin Haney first, and Lopez really ducked Devin because he was in the WBC sanctioning body with Devin Haney, and he was going to have to fight Devin Haney for the eliminator for the WBC to become number 1. But what he did was he went a different route to the IBF, and because he didn't want to have to fight Devin Haney. You don't even come on, bro. And then after that, after Devin's fight in I believe in 2019, he called him Nomashchenko. So what happened was they made a whole franchise belt, some shit that never been done before. They made a franchise belt to duck Devin Haney. Like, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody scared of Lopez ain't did nothing just out of this world just because he beat Lomachenko, bro. Lomachenko been had a loss before already. Like, what are you talking about? You don't know boxing. Like, what? That's like quiet, bro. What? Devin been raising his hand to fight Lomachenko. Like, stop it. And Lopez been ducking Devin. Like, that's really all it is. He don't want smoke with Dev. He already know. Go ahead, Coda.
I'm gonna let Coda, and then I'm gonna round it back up to Larry. So Larry, is that
So
so that's how I'll go. Okay, I'll let you rebuttal back. All right.
I agree a little bit with Shine's point, but not really completely, right? Because so boom, right? The whole Tank thing, Tank wasn't. It wasn't. That fight didn't happen because of Tank. Like people got to stop saying that. Like there's an interview with Loma saying that. Oh, why is he gonna fight Tank for? For what? For the money? You know what I'm saying? So they tried to make that fight happen. That's why Floyd Mayweather said like that would be a great fight back in the day when Gervonta was still with Floyd, but the fight never happened, and everybody blamed it on Tank because oh he's in a protective program. But in reality, there's interviews out there, and you could even see Lomachenko that he's saying there's no reason to fight Tank. He got no reason to fight Tank. There's no title there for him. He's only gonna fight Tank for the money, whatever case may be. So I mean, like that's just a narrative that's been around, and I mean there's proof up that you could find, and if you decide to research it, that Loma's the one that never really wanted that fight. I mean, we seen what just happened now. People are saying, oh, he's ducking it now because it's the end of his career. But no, in reality, they've been trying to get that fight. I mean, aside from that, the whole Tio thing, Tio is kind of weird though, bro. Like, I mean, he do weird shit. Like, I disagree that Tio ain't did nothing like out of this world because Tio, after he beat Richard Coleman, Loma was known as the pound for pound king or top 3 pound for pound fighters, and he smoked them really. Like he really did him dirty. And then you saying Devin didn't want to fight him, but when Tio said he was gonna retire, Devin wanted to fight Barboza for his title, and then when Tio said, "Nah, I'm not retiring. You got to fight me for the title," Devin went another route, so he didn't want to fight Tio. But there was a point where that's a fact, bro. What you mean? There's no don't put that look on your face. It's a fact. I'm not making shit up. I'm not a T.O. fan. I'm not a Devin fan. I don't like. I mean, not that I don't like them, but I'm not a fan of neither of those dudes. I'm just stating facts from an outside perspective. So I mean, there's just like a whole lot of rumors that a lot of people are repeating. At the end of the day, I'm sure they'll both get in there with each other, especially now. Like Devin really like he don't got the opportunity to
He didn't go
be
another
sitting here
route. A
this
bigger fight
let
came,
me
and he was
finish
finna
because I
fight
ain't cut you
Ryan
off. Let me finish because I ain't
for
cut you
sure.
off. Right. So Devin don't really got the he didn't go that route because Tio said he wasn't gonna retire, bro. Because if not, he was gonna fight Barboza when he was gonna vacate the title. That's a fact. And then Tio said, "I'm not retiring. You got to fight me for the title if you want it." He went
You
another
saying the
route.
same thing
That's just
twice.
what happened. That's that's just what happened. And then Tank, the whole Loma thing, it's cap, bro. It's cap. It's already up there. Loma got multiple interviews saying there's no reason to fight Tank aside from the money. Devin Haney, there was a point. There was a point actually when Tio and Bob Arum and Devin Haney and Devin Senior and Tio or Bill Haney and Tio Senior were supposed to have a meeting, and Bob Arum said this, and Devin Haney missed the meeting for that fight to happen. For them to negotiate that fight, and that's when they was with Top Rank. That's a fact. Bob Arum said it. I'm not making shit up, bro. I'm not up here I'm not a fan of neither of them dudes. So I'm just saying, I don't know if that was the point. I'm
Coda.
just like rebuttaling what y'all saying.
All right, I'm gonna let Larry because I know Larry's been very patient, so I'm gonna let you go in, Larry, and then Shine. I'm gonna let you rebuttal. So the order I just want you to know is Larry, Shine, Coda, and just repeats. All right.
It should be Coda first. C comes first, but anyway, go ahead.
Hey, Larry jumped in here, right? So all right, Larry, go ahead, man.
So the gentleman that was just talking, what his name, Coda?
Coda.
Yeah, I agree to some extent about Lemachenko was trying to fight them, and then they didn't fight, and then it came back around. Devin started trying to go another route, but to the point that the other gentleman was making, I don't know his name, the one that was being argumentative. He just started talking, just being argumentative against me. My whole thing is this, like my man Coda said, I'm not a T.O. fan. You know what I mean? I'm a Shakur Stevens fan. I'm Andre Ward. Floyd Mayweather. I only got a few guys, but T.O. is a beast. T.O. is a beast, and I'm not a fan of T.O. And he did step off the porch and fight Lomachenko when nobody wanted to fight him. When he knocked Comey out, when he was knocking them boys out. Ain't nobody want to fight him. Javante could afford him. Floyd was smart and said, no, Javante, let him get old. Then you fight him. I ain't going to let you fight him. Everybody was scared of Loma. Come on, man. And to my last point, because I ain't going to get long-winded, ain't nobody scared of nobody. They all professionals. It's just a matter of getting a fight made and them having the right money and the right contract. So ain't nobody scared of nobody. Now I'm gonna let y'all get the floor.
Appreciate that, Larry. Shine, I'm gonna let you respond. There you go.
Again, I mean, I don't see the point of what Larry is. Like, I dead don't see a point of what he's talking about, honestly. But anyway, to what Coda was saying, I agree with what Coda was saying with the Gervonta thing. Lomachenko saying there's no reason to fight him, but like, what I was saying is point blank period. Like, we all know that Tank wanted to really actually I can't say that. I do not like to speak for other men, but I would believe that Tank wanted that fight with Lomachenko. Like, it's just that obviously from the route that he was being built up, they didn't want to do that. Floyd, obviously it was too many people in his career. Like, they had too many hands in his career at the moment. So I believe that's why that fight didn't happen a long time ago. But like, as far as the TO, like, dude keeps saying TO did something that nobody else wanted to do. Like, that's just like obviously the most capish shit ever. Like, it was so many people raising their hand to fight him. And the other guy that I forgot about was Shakur. Shakur been wanting that Lomachenko fight for so long. Like, that was the fight that was supposed to happen instead of Devin getting it. It was really like ESPN was hoping to get Lomachenko versus Shakur so it could be like a passing of a torch type of situation. Like, like Lomachenko, don't get me wrong, Lomachenko was doing his thing when T.O. beat him. Cool, like he get the props for that. But let's not act like there wasn't so many other boxers calling Lomachenko's name wanting to get that fight. Like, young fighters though. It was young fighters who wanted that fight with Lomachenko. Like, period. At the end of the day. That's really all it was. But next topic.
All right, I'm gonna let Coda and then Larry, because obviously I feel like they about to gang up on you, so I'm gonna let them get their last set. Coda.
I mean, they can gang up on me all they want, but they
I
not
just
even
see,
talk about nothing. I mean, Coda saying stuff like I said, I already agreed with some of the stuff Coda said. Like,
I don't really got shit to. I mean,
but
I don't really got
Larry
nothing
ain't
to.
saying a damn thing.
I don't really got nothing to say. Really, I just don't agree. Honestly, Lomachenko. I mean, I don't think Shakur wasn't even in that weight class at that time.
I
So I
know.
mean, I don't know. I think Bob Arum always wanted Lomachenko to win. That's why when Devin Haney
Like,
versus
I know that.
Lomachenko happened, he was like, "No, it was a robbery. It was disgusting and all this." Because Lomachenko was always his. You know what I'm saying? That was his boy. So
Yeah, you
but
ain't saying nothing I don't
I
agree
don't
with.
think that he wanted to pass the torch to Shakur. Shakur wasn't even at the weight class at the time. I mean, to keep the belts in house. That's what promoters always say. Or promoters always want to do. To keep the belts in house. But I don't really got
Exactly. I
nothing to
just didn't elaborate on that. I
uh
thought that was self-explanatory already.
Yo, you got your chance to talk, cause man, come on, though.
No, my fault. I didn't know I was
Nah,
muted.
I
I
don't
thought
really
I was
care.
muted. My
I
fault.
All
I
ain't
thought I
really
was
tripping,
muted.
bro.
Dead
I ain't
ass.
really tripping.
All right, I got Larry last on this, and then granted, everyone already knows my opinion. I threw it out there.
I ain't hear it.
It
You
was
don't
pretty.
want to debate with me.
I mean, I already cooked you on the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Larry. You said it was scripted. I had it,
That shit was scripted, cuz. Come on, all right, go ahead.
but I'm gonna go to Larry, because obviously what kind of sparked this is that Shine wanted to debate the idea that I said, look, if two guys have been kind of debated for about 10 years, I eventually start blaming both. Is kind of what. But Larry, go ahead, man.
All right, so you letting this guy sit over here rambling like he don't know. He all over the place. the guy Sean. He's saying this, saying that. I don't know. I this and that. Bro, listen, Sean. I'm over 50 years old, Sean. I used to box. I used to street fight. I done forgot more than you know. When you start talking to guys that's older, you need to learn how to listen. Because you rambling. You all over the place, bro. Me and Kodo is saying the same stuff. And you going against me and then saying you like what Kodo's saying. Me and him saying the same thing, bro.
Hold up.
Me and him is saying the same similar stuff. Sean, you're rambling, bro. You don't even know nothing about boxing. The way you talking, you know nothing about boxing, bro. Like you just talking, you just want to be on here. You just need a hug or something, bro.
Real quick, can we just keep it just on the boxing topic?
Yeah, but I'm just saying though,
No, I
bro.
know, I get it.
I know. Just let me say this though. Let me say this. He's just been busting in on everybody, but you didn't mute him. I don't understand it, bro. That's why I'm saying this to him now. Because you kept letting him talk, but you didn't mute him, and he rambling, bro.
Larry, I'm giving you the floor. I'm letting you the floor. I'm just asking, like, just.
I got you.
You know.
Listen, I've been respectful this far, right? I'm gonna keep being respectful, but this is the thing. Again, Tio is a beast, right? He top 5 in the division that he's fighting in. He just keep on coming and beating guys. Like, this stuff ain't easy. Boxing is not easy. You know what I'm saying? And he just keep on talking and doing everything. He backing everything up. And I'm not a T.O. fan, but I can't hate on him. The hate is real on T.O. All them guys be hating on him. And there's a reason why people hate on you, bro. Because they don't understand you, and you doing something that they don't understand how you're doing it, bro. That's why people hate. Like, I just met Sean. He hating on me already, bro. I'm just trying to put it out there and give him some clarity on what's going on. Ain't none of them scared of each other. All of them is fighters. It's just about making a contract and them being on the same page. Don't nobody want to give nothing up to nobody and feel like they cheating them, or I want to be the A side, I'm the B side. That's all that's going on, bro. That's all that's going on. And Tio trying to get paid right now. If he's not getting paid, he ain't trying to fight them guys. And I'd be the same way. I wouldn't be trying to fight them either. Just imagine, hypothetically, you, me, him, anybody on this podcast, fight Javante for $200,000. That's crazy. You gonna go and get your head knocked off for $200,000? Come on, be real. And then if you lose, now you got to go all the way to the back of the line, and now your money go down. Because you do realize every time when they take a loss, that the next time they fight, their money is way low. They don't get the same money no more. I remember they said something about Loma. He was getting a whole lot of money. Then his fight after he took that loss was like 100,000 or 150. It wasn't a lot. So that's why Floyd Mayweather was so highly on being undefeated. Because when you lose, it takes your residuals down. So people don't understand that. It wasn't just about having a zero on his record. It was more so about keeping his pay high, making sure he continually get paid good. I'm a rest right there.
All right, Shine, would you wanna respond? You know, I got you unmuted.
Nah, I was muting myself already. Like I
And
said that
to
one.
be honest, real quick, after I let you speak, if you guys want to go back and forth, because Coda just seems like he just wants to put his eyeball. I'll let you guys do
that's
a 10-minute
good.
verbal sparring.
No, but Sean understand me
Yo,
now.
because that was hilarious. I was laughing for a good 5 minutes. Like, I teared at everything. Y'all are funny, for real.
Bro, like
I had to
That's
laugh.
a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
hilarious. So funny.
But Shine, you know, I guess, is there anything? I just want to, you know, I'm just trying to mediate. That's all I'm doing is.
Nah, I feel you. I mean, I really don't have too much to say. I'm gonna just say a few things. One is I was never coming at you or anything. My
No,
thing
it's
is,
all good.
Just let me
Go
finish, my
ahead, go
brother.
ahead, go ahead.
My thing is, I hate having conversations when people don't stay on the conversation. Like, that was my whole thing. You were talking about something that was totally irrelevant to what the conversation was my whole point. That's it. I wasn't rambling at all. I was staying on topic. That's literally it. I don't have nothing against you. I wasn't being argumentative. I was just making the point. That's it. But
I got something to say.
that's all. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Coda.
Right. So I listen about the Floyd thing. That's all. That's all I want to say because I already said what I felt about everything else. About the Floyd thing, no, I think Floyd made that a thing about the whole undefeated thing. Because look at Mosley. Sugar Shane, lost to a fight that nobody thought he would lose. Gave him a rematch and lost again. Went up and fought Oscar and was still a huge fight. Fought Floyd Mayweather was still a huge fight. Arturo Gotti and Ward, like they were never the most skilled guys, and they lost, and they still got paid good money. Oscar
Ward
De La
never
Hoya
lost.
was Golden
Ward
Boy. He
never
still got
lost,
paid
Terry.
good money. Tito
He's talking about. He's
Trinidad, let
talking
me
about.
talk though right quick.
He's talking about Mickey Award and Turo
Oh,
Gotti.
okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ward and Gotti. Yeah, and all these guys. Tito Trinidad, he lost. It was still a lot of money. I mean, all these guys before Floyd lost. Floyd, it was that Floyd effect that made that thing that people are scared to lose their O because of whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why Mario Barrios right now, I think is so loved, and I appreciate fighters like that. Like, I mean, he don't care who he get in there with, bro. He just want to fight. I mean, aside from the whole Boots thing, they offered him, I think, like 3 million or 2.2 or whatever, something like that. He didn't take the fight, but I mean, like, aside from that, bro, he came fought Javante Davis. On and at 140 10 pound rehydration clause, lost, went up and fought Keith Thurman, lost. People still love him. He just want to fight, bro. Ryan Garcia, he just want to fight, bro. Like, I appreciate fighters like that, bro. Ryan Garcia ain't scared of shit. You know what I'm
Let
saying?
me
Like,
say something after Coda.
he just want to fight. So I think it was the Floyd effect. I mean, Floyd just made that money. The thing with fighters now is that they don't promote themselves. I was saying this on Blue Blood Sports last night. Like, fighters got to learn how to promote themselves. So Floyd became flamboyant Floyd, and then Pretty Boy Floyd, and he sold that character, and then he became the villain, and he sold that character. So he promoted himself. So aside
Facts.
from boxing, he became an entertainer. He went to Dancing with the Stars. He went to
Facts.
WWE. He promoted himself, so he became that star. And so that's why he sold so much. I mean, the fact that he was undefeated, it doesn't say anything because he fought Chico Corrales when Chico Corrales was a boogeyman. He fought these guys. He fought everybody. They ain't want Mosley didn't want to fight him at 135, 140, and he was trying to tell Floyd to go fight Paul Williams, I think it was, or tell him to fight somebody else. And when they're asking him about a fight with Floyd, and he started saying he had an injury that came out of nowhere, whatever, fighting everybody else, but he didn't want to fight Floyd. Floyd had to. Floyd is not a welterweight, bro, let alone a super welterweight. Like, he is not that. He just went up there in those
Facts.
weight classes because guys didn't want to fight him. So Floyd is undefeated, but because he was the best fighter, the pound for pound king.
Yeah.
Couldn't nobody beat him. He wasn't undefeated because he cherry picked his fights. Like, people got a bad narrative on Floyd about that. He just promoted himself correctly and he did business correctly. He bought himself out the Top Rank contract, and he made Mayweather Promotions, got himself a new accountant, and he took off with PBC. You know what I'm saying, HBO. You know what I'm
Can
saying.
I say
So
something real
I
quick?
think fighters nowadays are too stuck on trying to be Money Floyd and not Pretty Boy. I mean, that's all I gotta say on that.
Shine, I'm gonna let you speak. I just want to let Austin Grant know that I see you in here. If you ever need
Yeah, I'm not.
anything,
Yeah, I'm not gonna take too long. I'm gonna let my bro get his stuff off.
go ahead, Shine.
Um,
Go ahead, you good.
so I got two separate points. One with the To thing. I don't really think nobody is like hating on To, because I remember Larry was saying like he think these guys are hating on To. I don't necessarily think that these guys are hating on To. I think To like brings this stuff upon himself for the most part. Like, nobody really brings To up, but To steady brings other people up. So like that's just like kind of my opinion on that. You probably disagree or whatever, but that's just one thing I'm but hold on, let me finish. So, and as far as like Coda was talking about, with Floyd, I agree that like Floyd changed the sport, of course, but I really don't think he changed the sport for a bad thing. Like, well, it is bad because nobody wants to lose their O, but I believe it's a false narrative that just because a fighter in today's modern boxing loses their O, I don't think that that will, like, just me personally, I don't think that that would like tear his whole career down and like he will never be able to get past a certain point. I think
Real
if
quick,
they
Sean,
did,
do you have an echo?
nah, yeah, I hear it. I don't. It's not my
Okay.
phone though.
I'm gonna mute you, Larry. The echo is coming from you right now.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry. I just saw
Yeah.
you cut.
So like, I don't think that it like kills a fighter's career if they lose a O. Like, I think us as boxing fans would appreciate them risking their O against somebody credible. Like, maybe if it's not against somebody credible, then I could see how it possibly could. But at the same time, it's like it's boxing. Like, we all know that losing is a part of the sport. It's like fighters forget that losing is a part of the sport. Like, nobody wants to risk their O, and that's what's messing the sport up right now. To me, like boxing it's like too many dry spots in boxing because not enough people are fighting. And like that another thing, like Coda said, like nobody is coming with charisma. Like it's only one fighter right now in boxing, two fighters in boxing. Well, me personally, one. Tank is the only fighter that has like real aura that connects to like the American people outside of Canelo because he's more like Mexican fan base. But like nobody is really like making their press conferences go up but Gervonta. Like Gervonta has notable moments that like stick with fans in their mind. It's like why don't fighters learn from Floyd Mayweather and what he did on how he marketed himself. Like I never understood that, Ron. Like have you ever talked I wanted to ask you, have you ever talked to boxers about that? Like why
I,
they don't, you know what I'm saying, sell themselves more. Like
it's
Keyshawn kind of got it a little bit
it's
recently,
it,
but like
it's a daily struggle. Granted, like obviously we're media, so obviously our big thing is obviously multiple things. Tell the truth. Some people say we destroy, certain things of them, and also help promote fights ultimately, right? So a lot of
mm-hmm,
times, you know, interviews tend to be part of promotions, and sometimes how they carry themselves, how they do interviews, how
right.
they move. You guys are Larry, Sean, Cole. You guys are on here on Fight Hype. You guys know exactly what fighters resonate to you and why they get certain fights, and and why they catch on. So it's a daily struggle right now. I think the American market personally doesn't have a superstar, and it's not taking away anything from Tank or any of these guys, but I'm talking about a guy who's just larger than life, like Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd, where you can see that Mike Tyson went and fought Friday against a YouTuber and the whole world went crazy, like that type of sensation. And the market is wide open. The U.S. market is completely open. Anyone can take it. Tank, any of these guys, but it just doesn't really seem like there's anyone right now that's stepping up to that plate. So, Larry, I know you got that itch I see in your face. I'm a unmute. I'm gonna let you go.
You can't even see my face.
I can see it, brother. We can
Yeah,
see it.
I was just joking. But listen, so Kodo, he was trying to respond to when I was saying about people not losing. And I want to clarify that. When I said that, I don't think you understood, but I did try to clarify, but you must have missed it. Anytime you lose, you don't get the same pay the next fight. You get less. Floyd
Right, that's
only,
right. That's right.
yeah, right?
That's fact.
So,
That's facts.
Now with
right,
Edgar
right.
Berlanga coming
I
up
did,
soon,
I
or
did hear you
how
say
you
that.
want
I
to
just
yeah, but
forgot
go
that
Hold
you
ahead.
said
on,
that.
Coda,
bro.
Coda, Coda, hold on, Coda,
Damn,
Coda.
Coda, what that?
I'm
I
gonna
said, listen,
let
see what I'm saying,
let
bro? You
yeah,
teach
no,
me,
no.
but you don't do that to
No,
nobody
no,
else,
no.
bro.
I'm with you on it. Coda over
Come
here.
on,
I
man.
could remove Coda right now. This is
No,
completely
you ain't
just no.
gotta
I'm just
remove him.
I'm no.
All right, so what I'm saying is that, and that's what I mean. Y'all gotta listen. Y'all gotta learn how to listen and be able to receive the information before y'all start, jumping to conclusions. Because when I speak, I try to be clear. I try to use the proper words. That way we both understand each other. So, Floyd Mayweather, that was the thing with him not losing. And remember, he lost at the Olympics, and that messed him up. Because if he would have had a gold medal coming out of the Olympics, he would have already been getting millions. And that's when he made the stand, I'm never going to lose again. I don't like how I feel. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to put it overtime. That way I won't lose. And I'll be able to have I'll be able to get my proper pay. And that was just the whole thing for Floyd. It wasn't really the record of him not having been lost, because if he could have lost and still got paid the same amount, I wouldn't even think he would have put a big emphasis on it. But off that. So, like I said, as far as like these fighters, like let me speak on Gervonta. The only reason why Gervonta is in the position that he is in now is because Floyd stamped him. Floyd, oh yeah, he's the best, absolutely, and all that. He stamped Gervonta. Anybody Floyd stamp, if he stamped me and say, I'm the best, I'm going to be the best in the next 5, 10 years, everybody going to pay to see me and all that. Now Gervonta is having problems because Roach, the guy Roach he's about to fight, he not going to make no real money off that fight because Lamont Roach is not a draw. People don't want to see him fight him. People ain't going to pay the big bucks to see him fight somebody that they already know he's going to beat. If Gervonta ain't fighting the top 1, 2, or 3, nobody want to pay to see that fight. Now, let me give you a kicker because I ain't going to get long-winded because this going to be enough for y'all to comment off of. Now that Gervonta is having a little beef with Floyd, now it's been hard to get his fights done because Floyd is making sure that certain people don't even mess with Gervonta. That's why it's taking so long for him to get this fight, because everything that Gervonta trying to do, Floyd is like trying to blackball him. So you know they keep on saying, oh, he gonna fight this date, he gonna fight that date. And they still not really sure. And you hear Blue Blood going off the hook by saying, man, it ain't about the money, it's about this, it's about that. You know what I mean? So it's a whole game with this stuff. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, again, closing, ain't none of these guys scared to fight each other. And they just want to be paid properly if they going to fight certain people. Ain't nobody going in this ring taking a chance on memory losses and losing, and then if they take a L, now they can't get no good money no more. It ain't worth it to them. So they want to make sure they're getting paid. That's all.
Anyone want to respond to all that?
That's everything. I disagree with everything. I ain't gonna lie. I disagree with everything. Yeah,
I got a question.
I
That's
got
it.
to, cause again, I mean, I don't think Floyd. I mean, obviously, don't nobody want to lose, bro. I mean, he was just a competitor, and he was so competitive that he was more determined and more disciplined than everybody else, and he made a decision that he wasn't gonna lose anymore, so he worked for that. But if he made that such an emphasis, then he wouldn't have took the fights that he did. I mean, did nobody think he was gonna beat Chico Corrales? I mean, he's 6'3", 135 pounds. Chico Corrales was like 33-0 and 30
Bro,
knockouts
what's
at the
your
time.
point? You're
Ho
not
ho.
even understanding my
Ho, ho,
point.
ho. I understand the point. Yeah,
You're
because
not.
if he loses, let me finish. Because
Go
if he
ahead, I'm listening.
loses, then he don't get, let me finish, though.
Go ahead.
Because if he loses, then he don't get paid like that. Look at Berlanga. He just fought Canelo. Listen, look at Canelo when he fought Floyd Mayweather. He lost, and that only got him paid more. Look at Berlanga. He's about to only get paid more. Look at Monguia. He's only about to get paid
That's
more.
not true.
So,
That's not true.
let me finish. Whether you think it's true or not, it's a fact. So I mean,
It's
I'm
not.
not a. All right, well you don't think
Anytime
so,
you lose, you never
my
get the
nigga.
same
I'm
pay
talking
your
though.
next fight.
I'm talking though.
But
I didn't
you
cut you
wrong
off,
though.
fam.
Dang,
I
Ron, you
didn't cut
showing
you off.
favoritism, Ron. You ain't mute Larry like he said.
Oh,
I,
shucks.
Nah, I just
You're wrong though, bro.
All right, if you want to say that, you could say
No,
that in your
that's
own little
fact.
world. But
Ask him.
a lot
Ask him.
as old as you might be, bro, you could
No,
be
ask
1,000
him.
years old, and I
Ask
know
him,
the
bro.
business of boxing.
Get
Man,
a
shut your
second
ass
opinion.
up while I'm talking, man. Now you disrespecting me,
No,
dog.
get a second opinion, because you're wrong.
Man, shut your ass up, man. Fuck you
See, now
talking
you
about?
being
I'm wrong.
disrespectful.
Fuck is a nigga talking about? I'm talking,
You wrong,
nigga.
bro.
I'm talking.
I'm gonna mute both of y'all. Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
Listen. I'm trying to
Nah,
let y'all mediate
I'm a
yourself,
troll.
right? I'm trying to be the ref. I'm trying to let y'all mediate. You know,
I ain't cut nobody off though.
No, I understand.
I ain't cut nobody off.
Listen.
Look at the
But
chat.
listen. Oh, I don't want this on the platform. This ain't the platform. I'm
Nah,
letting.
I ain't trying to put this on your platform.
And I know, but that's why I both got muted. I let y'all both not unmute at that time. So you know, it's
Really, I don't really care about that, right?
Nah,
So that's
Ryan,
just, I mean, that's the fact of things, right? Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing right now. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. I mean, listen, I understand nobody want to lose. And most of the time, when people lose, yes, they stock go down. That's correct. Most of the time. But it's not always true, right?
Yeah.
It just depends of how you promote yourself, how you go about your career. You know what I'm saying? If Teofimo Lopez,
Indeed.
you know, he did all these great things, right? So I was on your side at first. Now I'm gonna go against that. Teofimo Lopez, he did all these great things that you're talking about, but he was complaining about getting paid $1 million versus Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because he fights guys like Steve Claggett and he struggles with them. When Tank fights guys like Steve Claggett, he puts them out. He does what he got to do versus competition like that. So the business of boxing is not always because he loses this. Look at Ryan. He lost versus Tank Davis. He got the biggest payday of his life then. And then he went versus Devin Haney and he sold the 300,000 pay-per-views. And we could agree with that because before that, Devin Haney fought Regis Prograis, sold 30,000 pay-per-views. And Devin Haney was undefeated. So it don't always matter that you're undefeated. You don't always get paid because you're undefeated.
You proving my
That's just
point,
not how
Soda,
things
low-key.
go. It's about popularity and all that thing. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. And the whole Tank thing, I even forget what you said about Tank. I done got pissed off and everything. I mean,
listen. I'll throw a monkey wrench because Larry asked me what I think. I've seen fighters win fights and actually their pave's gone down just because it always requires your dance partner, who you are, things like that.
Exactly.
There's fighters that lose and their next fight's still going to be a big fight. There's fighters that fight somebody and then their next fight, like for example, I'm pretty sure that everyone that fights Tank is going to be able to ask for a little bit more than prior to Tank, you know, regardless of whatever the situation. The Tank fight was essentially, like, think about Floyd Mayweather. Like, people who fought Floyd were actually able to ask more money than they did prior to fighting Floyd. Win or lose against Floyd has been an instrumental of you getting paid more, right? The visibility goes up, things of that nature. And then there's people who have great upset wins, beat the superstar, and their next fight doesn't rival the guy that's the darling guy that goes on and continues to make big money fights. You know, it's really every case is different. You know, Floyd's whole marketing situation is people wanted to see him lose. And no matter how many times you kept wanting to see him fight and lose, you're paying to hopefully one day to see it. The day that Floyd loses, you're kind of like, all right, I don't really need to watch this no more. And I think Broner was kind of a version of Floyd. That once Broner lost to Maidana, it kind of mirrored what would have potentially been Floyd because they have a similar marketing thing. Like Little Bro tried to do Big Bro, and after that, Broner's stock kind of went down because you kind of like, I've already seen that episode. The only episode you need to see next is Broner get knocked out, which no one's ever done that. So, but when you continue to keep losing, yes, consistently it does affect. If you take a loss here, but then come back, you know, a lot of good things can come from that. If you're fighting the right people, you know, like if you're a relatively unknown fighter, you fight a guy that's popular and then you lose, your stock does. People want to see you. Like Edgar Berlanga relatively was never on a pay-per-view stage. He fought Canelo, and more than likely he's going to now be in big fights and other fighters will want to fight him just because he fought Canelo, win or lose. You know, now he's a highly demanded entity and people are asking for him to fight Plant. Not saying they weren't before, but now there's more glamour to it. There's now a little bit more spice. people are actually asking for Edgar Berlanga, regardless if they want to see him win or lose. You know,
Yeah.
he's known now. The general public knows of him, and I think that's what they're trying to say, that losing can help you. But if you're the A side, the guy who's making like you're kind of, I think, you're the Ali, the De La Hoya, the Floyd. When you're that guy who's built up, that position is harder to maintain because you're not supposed to lose, right? You know,
Right.
like for example, Tank can't really lose. You know, Ryan, Shakur, Devin, they can't lose either. But Tank is the kind of the guy where everyone is more attached to make the money. If
Yo, I
that makes
kind of
sense.
want to apologize real quick because I got carried away, man. I have a pet peeve to when people cut me off, like I do get carried away. So I apologize, bro, for talking. I swear, like I apologize. I don't like to be that type of person. You're Larry, my fault, bro.
Ron,
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
just said so much stuff, bro.
Can I
Listen,
say-
let me say this though.
No, real quick.
I'll
Did
be
you
on-
heard Coda's apology? I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, I heard. It's
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
It's cool. I ain't never thinking nothing too bad about it. Anyway, it's all good.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
listen,
Love it, guys.
I'll be on Blue Blood all the time. I have a monkey wrench on Blue Blood. I don't get on a lot of these podcasts. Just remember my name because I'm getting ready to open up a podcast within the next month or two. I just purchased a home and I'm getting ready to put a podcast in there. You know one thing I really, I'm highly against? Every time when people get on these podcasts, the hosts never clarify because they want to keep the people that's on their podcast on the fence, whereas though they don't be upset with them. The whole thing is that I stated was when you fight and you lose, you don't get the same pay. Your pay goes down, whether it's $2, $3, it's fact. When you just said all that, Ron, you said a whole lot of different situations. You was never clear about what I said. You said, oh yeah, but if you fight this one and you good, then they see that you made a good fight, then you might get paid more. Like, bro, that wasn't what was said. The clarity on it was that if you lose, your pay don't be the same. That's it.
But that's not true. What I was saying is that
It
everyone's
No,
different.
it's not.
Every
Ron,
person's circumstance is completely different.
Yes, it is. But listen, let me say this.
So a loss is different.
Canelo lost to GGG.
Hold on. Everybody jumping. I'm talking. I got the floor. So check it. All right. Let's talk about Canelo. When he fought Floyd, he didn't get the same pay that he made when he fought Floyd. One, Floyd's status. Anybody that fight Floyd, they're going to get more than they fight the average person.
He lost to
That's just
Bivol.
how it is. What I'm saying again is that if you have a 9-0 record and you fight just another guy that's 10-0 or 11-0, you're going to get a pay. But if you lose to that gentleman and you fight another person, you're not going to get the $1,500 or whatever it is that you got on that fight. Your pay is going to be less. That's fact.
Can I?
He lost to Bivol.
No, but Larry,
Let me finish, bro. Unless you fight somebody like a Floyd or Canelo, yes, you'll get more.
Canelo
But
lost to
that's not-
Bivol.
Oh my goodness.
He lost to Bivol though, and he's still the face
Bro,
of boxing.
You not even saying the same thing I'm saying, bro.
No, you just
Ron,
you can't move the
Ron,
goalposts.
I'm speaking specifically of you because you just said something about this or that. Yeah, it fluctuates depending on if you do well or if you're a fan
Nah,
favorite
but you didn't
and
say that.
everybody like you, they want to
Yeah,
see
but
you
that's
fight.
what
they
we
think you'll
saying.
Get more. Yeah, we know that. But what I'm saying is the main point is that if you fight and you get a certain amount and you just fight the average Joe, when you fight the next person, your pay goes down. Unless it's somebody like a Floyd or Canelo. That's a jackpot for anybody.
Not
Yeah,
Canelo
true.
just lost to
Not
Bivol.
true.
What happened after he lost to
That's
Bivol?
not true.
Let me
What happened
help,
after he lost to Bivol?
let me help clarify. Larry's speaking on if you're just like this kind of upcoming prospect, a guy who's not necessarily relatively amazingly big name fighting other big names, you know, where
Caleb
he's talking
Plant
about-
lost. Caleb Plant lost to. He's not a huge
Unbelievable,
name.
man. Ron, can you come on, bro? Like,
Larry,
Let me speak after
I'm
you, Ron.
listening to you, Ron. What's up, bro? Come on,
Yeah,
man.
go, Ron. I'm gonna
well,
speak after you, Ron.
I'm trying to understand because I could pull out a million examples when a dude loses.
Literally a
and then
million.
That
Can I
I know. What are you
they
can I
saying, though?
can I say
What's
something
the
real quick?
example for? I'm trying to
Well,
understand.
I'm trying to get a clarification that you're generalizing the idea that the average prospect who comes up, right? Not the
Right,
guy.
go ahead.
I'm just trying to get clarification because I think there's a
Yeah,
miscommunication.
yeah.
You're
Okay, let
talking
me
about
clarify it
you're
again.
talking about an average
I know. Let me
contender
clarify it again.
who's coming
So
up.
we'll be on the same page. Okay. So if me and you were fighting, and I'm 9-0, you're 9-0, I'll lose to you. Then I fight somebody else. Same as
I mean, no
status.
shit.
If he took a loss and he's fighting me and I'm 11-0, he's going to get less pay than what he got paid for the last average Joe. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to get the same pay. Now, if he fights a Floyd Mayweather or a Javante after the loss, he may get more. That's because of Javante or Floyd's status. Anybody get more because that's a jackpot.
Well, Larry, this is the part that I think that
We were talking
we're
about
just talking
Floyd though
about.
first.
Go on, I'm
Go ahead.
listening, Ryan. Go ahead.
It's talking about the fact that if you're a relatively an unknown person, right? Like, let's just say.
I'm just saying average.
No, Larry, let's say someone fights Gervonta Tank Davis and nobody knows this other individual, right?
I know.
Right?
That's not.
Listen, let me. And
Go
they
ahead, man.
lose to Gervonta Tank Davis, right?
Right.
Their career, regardless of where they were at, if they were relatively unknown, their stock has raised up from their previous position.
That's another conversation, Ron. We're not talking about
Gotta
that.
let him finish, Larry.
But that's something else.
Let him
that
finish.
adds on.
Larry. I'm literally trying to say I'm taking the simple philosophy that when a fighter loses, they could potentially go down in stock or up depending on that circumstance. It's not
And
a
I said
general
that.
rule.
But that's what I'm saying. I said that. But what I'm saying also, and what you act like is not true, that if it's an average Joe and they fight each other, two average guys, and then I take a loss and then go fight another average guy, I'm not going to get the same pay. My pay is going down. That's what I'm saying.
It varies.
That's two different things.
It varies. I've seen people who
Okay,
fight.
so we
No,
saying
no,
the same
no. What I'm saying, it always
Yeah.
varies. It's the simple philosophy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
everything varies.
That's true. But what I'm saying now, the example that I just gave you about the average Joe, that is correct too. That's what I'm saying. Right? Is that correct?
I think we're somewhat speaking in circles. We just can't
See, that's
coordinate.
what I'm saying. You're not clarifying. You're saying somewhat. You just don't
Yo,
want to
Larry,
say
you gotta
that
chill.
I'm telling you the right thing.
Like,
And
respectfully,
that's
you
what
gotta
misleads
relax though.
people
Like,
on the podcast, Ron. This is the reason why
Nigga
I don't
tripping.
understand people that be running these
Nah,
podcasts.
Larry.
He's tripping, bro.
Larry. Matter of respect. I'm letting you speak on the
Rambling.
platform. All right. This is not this is what you don't understand about the platform. I'm giving you an opportunity to clarify so that you don't get misunderstood. This is not a judging situation, right? So I got you. I'm understanding your philosophy. I'm trying to help manifest it out so that people understand that we're all on the same page. Because I see there is a visible disconnect. Regardless if you feel like you're explaining it,
Ron is
there
so
is
nice.
there's an actual disconnect I see. So that disconnect is very apparent, and I'm trying to take what you feel frustrated about and try to make sure that everyone is understanding, because there is a disconnect. And I'm not saying it's you who's speaking it wrong or they're interpreting wrong. I just notice it. So what I'm saying, and I can see that the frustration is that we're kind of all in the same like speaking point. We're just not communicating amongst the same time. Does that make sense? So when you come and say I don't understand hosts, I have to mute, because trust me, I've been covering boxing for a very long time, and I'm privy of a lot of things, but I'm giving everyone the opportunity to speak. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, regardless if some people feel it's popular or not. So I'm giving you the respect. Give me the respect not to try to criticize my hosting, because at the end of the day, I'm allowing you to speak and I'm trying to help. You know what I mean? With you able to.
This
So
was
I'm
my
a mute.
time.
This is my, but
this is
listen,
my
but this,
thing.
but this is my platform that I'm working with. So what I'm trying to do is bless an opportunity. So I'm giving you time respectfully. So I'm asking the same respect, not to, okay? Like this is not an entitlement position. It's a privilege what's going on right here. It's a
Excuse me,
privilege.
Ron. I'm a dip. I'll holler
Okay,
at you. I'm
Sean.
gonna chop it up with you next time, bro.
All right, man. So Larry, I'm gonna give you the floor, but if I feel like it's kind of a conversation about how I run the ship, you don't have to be on the ship. I'm just asking you to just be able to present your opinions, in a fair manner. And if I'm trying to digest or understand, I'm just gonna ask questions to clarify because there's a misunderstanding. I'm not saying
That was a
you're wrong.
bar.
So
Go ahead,
so I'm
Captain.
I'm,
Talk
I'm,
your
I'm gonna
shit.
unmute you,
Okay.
Larry.
Okay. Let me say this. Like that, and when I said that, what I was saying is not about me telling you how to run your show. That has nothing to do with it. So I can clarify that. But what I'm saying to you is that I explained it to you earlier on when being as though I guess you already know these guys. This is my first time on this podcast. And since I've been on there, I'm sure the ratings then went through the roof because of the type of person I am and how I talk and the topics that we've been talking on and the explanations that I've been given. That's the reason why I'm going to start my own podcast, to make more clarity for the world. But I'm saying to you also is that when you was making your point, why it seems as though you never said, "Oh, Larry, that is correct what you're saying." You instead said, "Oh, yeah, it's different ways or understandings. I'm trying to do this or do like you wasn't just straight clear about it."
Larry,
And I'm
because we
saying
don't
to
because we
you,
don't we don't agree. That's why I don't actually
but
believe
but
that's always the
but
case. That's why.
but that's what I'm saying. We did agree. I agreed that what you were saying was correct in a certain situation, but you didn't say what I was saying was correct in a certain situation, which you was explaining that, but you wasn't clear about it.
Larry, because
And
I
you
don't feel I
understand what
don't
I'm
I
saying,
don't
Ron.
feel that's always the case. That's why it's not a fact. So what I'm trying to say is you said that's always the case. I don't believe that's always the case, and I can point times when it's not always the case. So we just having a matter of different opinions, but I
No.
actually know cases where that's not always the truth. So
And we're saying the same thing again. I'm stating that what you said was correct in a certain
Yo,
situation.
next subject, man. I mean,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
Ron, what's going on, bro? Me and you having a conversation and he
Larry.
jumping in. See, but that's what I'm saying. You keep on allowing
All
that,
right.
which messes up the podcast, bro.
Okay. Listen.
Like he
Listen.
don't have the knowledge that I have,
All
bro.
right, all right. So I'm gonna just end this like respectfully, right? Because it's very exhausting, right? So Larry, I'm gonna let you give your final words, right? I'm gonna give you your final words. If you want to shout out your future podcast, I'm gonna give Coda his final words, right? And at this point, I could see us just going forever. So Larry, I'll give you a few minutes to kind of like a minute tops. I'm gonna count it. Go ahead, shout out what you need to say. I appreciate you being on here, and I'm gonna unmute you right now.
I know, listen, I'm not even going to take that long. And I'm not going to shout out. You will know who I am when it start happening. Because like I said, I'm always on Blue Blood. I have I have a wrench on there. So I'm already in the game. And, I'm connected to a lot of the stars and all that. What I mean? Go to my Instagram. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, I wish you well on all your future endeavors because you're a part of Fight Hype. That's whose name this is. You just work with them or for them. Okay? So you'll see me more. Just have a nice day. Thanks for
Yep.
the time and all that. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I wish you well, brother.
I
Take it
appreciate
easy.
you coming in and taking time, and I wish the
Yes,
best
sir.
for your endeavors, and I hope to see
Yes.
you out in the field one day, and
You're going to see me.
and
Trust
ultimately at the end of the day, I appreciate all the insight that you brought in. Really, at the end of the day, these situations are to have different opinions and debate respectfully, and ultimately, like I said, continue to pursue your passions.
But when
and
you
dreams.
have a person that's evolving, you shouldn't cap their knowledge. You should allow them to elevate your knowledge. So if I'm speaking on something and it's exciting, because I know it is, that's why I've been on there so long, you gotta let it evolve, brother. That's gonna make what you do better. But when you close it off, you can't grow. I know. You understand it, but I'm just reiterating it and refreshing it in your mind that this is what it is. You know, like the Marvels evolve, you gotta evolve. But you can't evolve if you're putting a cap on your understanding, on the information. You know what I mean? But we're going, we're going to get together. We're going to be talking more because I'm going to remember you. I know FightHype because I follow them. But,
I always appreciate your support, Larry. And I don't
No
say that
problem.
as a disingenuine, I actually genuinely, because every view counts, every support counts. And also,
Right.
I appreciate you, like I said, mustering up to coming up and just honestly putting yourself out there on, because at the end of the day, these are very hostile debates that many people get into. And I honestly respect that, you came up. So, at the
But
end of the day,
one
Larry.
thing, though, one thing I want to say is when I be the way I be, that's just how I am. It's natural. I'm never frustrated or none of that. That's just how I react. I don't take nothing bad, nothing negative, because you can't grow that way. So I just wipe it off, whatever it is. So I heard you say frustrated a lot earlier. I'm never frustrated. I'm just an aggressive type of person. That's just how my
Larry,
nature is.
you don't have to justify yourself. Okay?
No, I'm just speaking on it. It's not a justification, but that's what I'm trying to explain to you. I don't, and I'm just speaking. That's just how I talk. You know what I mean? Because I speak from understanding and knowledge and information. So we're on here having a conversation. If I call you up on the phone and I talk to you, that's the purpose of being on the phone, to have a conversation. So, it's not being justified, but again,
Hey, hey, I appreciate you genuinely, okay?
Yeah.
So, and look, I
Thank you,
do
brother.
appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I hope you flourish, and at the end
Oh
of the
yeah.
day,
Oh, it's going.
and,
You already see it though, bro. You see what I'm doing now.
so,
This is
so,
how it's going to be going down. Worldly stuff, sports. I'm gonna have like a lot of stars and different people of different walk of life speaking on health and everything. You need to start trying to juice and vegetables with the medicines, the nuts and stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. You know what I mean? You got to transfer your diet over because they feeding us a lot of negative foods that's unhealthy for us. Them chicken fingers and all that. They got all them ingredients in it that's really killing us. We got to get away from it. You know what I
hey,
mean?
Larry, I appreciate it, but I gotta get going. We could
All
be
right.
here all
Take it
day.
easy, bro.
Appreciate it, brother. All right, thanks, Larry. All right, and I appreciate Coda for also stopping by. Listen, this was a very long show. And look, at the end of the day, I really appreciate all you guys. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I just wanted just to end this whole segment just by let me get my actual good camera going. Where is this? There we go. All right. Perfect. I just want to end this segment just off the topic. Look, Teofimo added Eddie Reynoso, right? His dad pretty much pushed him and said, hey, we're going to need to get involved with Canelo's team, right? I've seen a lot of people in the chat put a lot of medicinal pills and things like that. Don't get caught with any drug usage. I'm not going to put that coat on Tio, but, I know a lot of people in that camp has been put into that. So, as long as you're aware of the type of stuff that's going to be put around you negatively or not, take the positive things, go in there, learn from Eddie Reynoso, learn how to cut the ring off, learn how to properly, not let these guys who are slick fighters get past you. Actually work on your craft and not work on your athleticism. And maybe, we'll be able to see you become a 3-time lineal champion. But other than that, look, I'm beat. I'm exhausted. Shine, Coda, Larry, they came in and they duked it out. I appreciate all you guys. And I saw a $2 super chat. Softball, respect for Coda for dealing with, Softball, what's up, man? Appreciate you always rocking and showing some support. Appreciate everyone in here showing some support. T-Fox, Jackie Hernandez, King Rhythm. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff in the works. these lives, there's going to be a lot more. They're going to be something where in the future, we're going to get guests. We're going to get a whole bunch of cool stuff involved. So, yeah, pretty beat, guys. So, but ultimately, like I said, you guys stay locked on Fight Hype. There's a whole bunch of interviews that'll be dropping soon. We just dropped Camboso's. He just did an interview announcing his 140 announcement, signing with Matchroom. We also have some other interviews that's dropping. There's Oscar Valdez. We got Yoel Judah. We got a lot of David Benavidez up. If you guys haven't seen it, a lot of props to David Benavidez fighting with David Morrell. That's a really tough fight for both those guys. You gotta take your hat off for that. Yeah, you guys have a good day. I'm pretty pooped. Ultimately, you guys are the best. What's to say? Legacy over currency. Ron, you need some vegetable juice with some chicken fingers. Nah, I'm going to definitely just chill out. Tomorrow, I got to spend a lot of good time with my son. And then Sunday, we're going to be doing some stuff. So I'm going to be trying to do 2 lives a day. It might be a lot, but damn, so what's his top ranked deal? 1 fight? I really don't know. Highness says, please tell me who you think Canelo's going to fight next. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, people have been speculating Japan. I feel like Jamal Charlo is going to be eventually caught up in the mix with Canelo somewhere, either the next fight or the fight after. I don't think Canelo and Crawford is going to happen, unfortunately. And I don't think Canelo and David Benavidez is going to happen anytime soon. So, for the most part, we're kind of just slowing down at the end of the year. We're kind of just waiting for Tank to get his announcement with Lamont Roach. I know Tank is going to be doing a cool little turkey drive out in Baltimore. So respect to Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny and everyone around the holidays. I saw Stephen Fulton donate some turkeys around this time. So you're going to see a lot of fighters giving out turkeys and stuff for, the people of less privileged or, the opportunities ain't looking great around the holidays. So just for everyone out there, just take your time, take a moment and relax. The world can be chaotic, but just, appreciate the blessings that you guys do have. You know what I mean? So. But enough of church talking and things like that. It is 10:19. I'm going to relax a little bit before I have to wake up in the morning and take care of my son. So you guys have a good night. Appreciate you guys rocking. Cody, Larry, Shine, you guys are an MVP for jumping on. I know someone else tried to jump on, but they said they were in bad service. So we'll work out these call-in process because, I don't know. I feel like these segments where like everyone's going at the same time might not work. I might have to do like a point where I'll try to get people to come one-on-one with maybe like a timer. I don't really want a time, but I know that they can drag on, the conversations could drag on, myself included. So ultimately at the end of the day, I'll figure out a segment or something where we can kind of streamline certain stuff. I know I see some stuff in the comments and things like that. So feedback taken, feedback noted. So, but you guys have a good night, man. You guys take care, man. Have a blessed evening.